Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Introducing Carvana Value Tracker, where you can track your car's value over time and learn what's driving it. It might make you excited.
Whoa, didn't know my car was valued this high.
It might make you nervous.
Uh-oh, market's flooded. My car's value just dipped 2.3%.
It might make you optimistic.
Our low mileage is paying off. Our value's up.
And it might make you realistic.
Car prices haven't gone up in a couple weeks. Maybe it's time to sell.
But it will definitely make you an expert on your car's value. Carvana Value Tracker. Visit Carvana.com to start tracking your car's value today.
Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
While many kids are making their holiday wish lists, the patients at Nationwide Children's Hospital are simply wishing they could be home. But you have the power to make their stay a little brighter. The moment you make a donation, the butterflies on the lawn at Nationwide Children's light up for our patients to see. And that gift brings joy, funds research, and the world's finest care. Please, light up the lawn. Light up a life. Give now at nationwidechildrens.org/give.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to Gen Exhausted. I'm Chris.
I'm Rich.
I'm Jess.
We're back. We all had Thanksgiving. Hope yours was wonderful. We all ate a bunch of food. All that crap. It's all families. Did you guys see in China there's a new virus going around? Isn't that fun?
I've seen a lot about that.
Isn't it it's some pneumonia or some shit?
Yeah, so that's what some places are saying. Some places are saying that it's like this new pneumonia that comes without a cough, but you have a high fever. But then other places have said it's just 3 different viruses that are causing this pneumonia, and that's what's overwhelming hospitals. So, once again, we're not getting a ton of transparency from China from the sounds of it.
What?
I know. Just call me a conspiracy theorist. I feel like that's happened once before.
They have a reputation for honesty and transparency.
Yeah, I saw that all over TikTok, talking about like they're shutting schools down. I did go and confirm that. They thought it was just a kid's disease or illness or virus or whatever, and then it started being passed to the adults. And now the World Health Organization reached out to China asking for clarification, and they came back and said, no, it's nothing to worry about.
To China.
China.
It's from China. Yeah, is this Chinese virus too? You can be racist if you say that?
Probably.
How come this is only in China?
Wait, This is like right around the time this shit started in 2019 too.
Yep.
Late October, early November was very first rumblings I heard about it.
And how come?
And then by the end of November, beginning of December, it was a thing. It was just not being reported on the front page and screamed on every fucking cable news network every half hour.
And what a coincidence! It's only in China. Some virus that's never happened before. What are the odds? Well. Let's see.
Why is it?
What do we get? 5 minutes before so one of us hit something that's going to get us some kind of flag? Sorry, Rich, go ahead.
Why is it a conspiracy theory to be like, gee, a government that is authoritarian is, communist? I guess authoritarian, communist, kind of, that's redundant, but, whatever. Why that they would try to develop biological or chemical warfare abilities. Why is that a conspiracy theory? Yet people will look you dead in the face and go, I know you're racist because you're white and all white people are racist even if they don't know they're racist. That's not a conspiracy theory. But there's no physical evidence to any of that. But we have plenty of physical evidence and fucking paperwork to go back and be like, oh, look at all the shit China's tried to pull since, what, the 50s?
Can't do that. You're far right extremist.
Transphobe.
Yeah, it's wrong.
I don't know why, but yeah.
Sure.
I think
I'm not even shocked anymore. I'm not even shocked. I'm not upset. I'm not amazed. I'm not bemused. I'm just, you know what? You're beginning to bore the hell out of me.
Rich, I mean, we made the comparison a bunch of times, right? But it's like religion. You start asking questions. Nope. Get that person out of here.
That's exactly
no questions.
Anytime clarification or making sure that things are understood as clearly as possible to as many people as possible is frowned upon, you know from the get-go you're dealing with bullshit. We have to engage with, we have no choice. In modern life, we have to engage with a certain amount of bullshit. Other bullshit, we can just be like, oh, that's bullshit. And I don't fucking engage with bullshit because you wind up smelling like, you guessed it, bullshit.
Not a pleasant smell.
And we all know what's coming. We all know if anything comes of this story, it's everything we just sat here and joked about. But we weren't really joking. We're just fucking telling the truth of what's going to happen if this story blows up and this becomes something. Oh, is this the Wu flu too? That's racist. And you're right, Jess. Somehow it will be transphobic. Mm-hmm. How? We don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there because we always work backwards, just like religious zealots. We start with the end, and then we figure out how we got there later. That's the opposite of how you build something. That's how you reverse engineer something, and all we're reverse engineering is stupidity. I'm sorry, wrong meeting. Go ahead, guys.
So it'll be interesting to see what comes of this. If they try to, if 4 months from now they're trying to shut us down, which, yeah, good luck with that. If you try to do that again, Rich, you talk about a revolution. Try to do that shit again. That's where I think you might finally start to see people hitting the streets. Because after that nonsense from 3 years ago, no way.
I almost think at this point it'll just be like major cities that are blue and Democrat controlled will go into whatever the Democrats want. If it's a lockdown, they'll go into a lockdown. If it's a like an isolated situation where they just like allow goods and emergency services if need be to come into and people just go along with it because why not? Because they give us free shit and we're black and we can't vote Republican. So yeah. Okay.
I've seen a whole lot of talk about the economy because, we're coming up on an election year. We are a year out or less than a year out now from the election. So the economy is becoming a hot topic. And I don't know if y'all saw this, but now there's this whole thing where the White House is putting pressure on social media to paint the economy in a better light. And it all started apparently because of a famous TikToker talking about how expensive McDonald's was. And they went to eat at McDonald's and it was $16. And so the White House has now come out and said that things like that need to be removed because it's misrepresenting, it's misinformation about the economy.
That article I sent you guys today, yeah, the White House is... You know what the White House is doing about price gouging? Hey, stop it. That's what the White House is doing. Because they're not going to... Who do you think fucking puts those people in there? The people they're telling to knock it off. Mm-hmm. No, you're the government, dipshit. You can make them stop it. But I feel like Trump right now. But you won't because that's how you make money. Because that paltry little $450,000 you get a year ain't shit compared to what lobbyists are giving you.
Yeah.
I just love that. Did you read that article? That's yes. Really. Hey, corporations, stop it. That's really what they're saying. That is the strategy from the current administration.
Yes. No, they're you're talking about junk fees, and that.
You mean the things that have been around for decades, and now all of a sudden you got to bug up your ass about them?
Right. That and just that there are now bigger savings for corporations to have, and that should be shared with the consumer, the good, hard-working Americans. We need to share those savings with them. Okay, but no. So with the economy, though.
Our own White House doesn't understand supply and demand. There's a reason all those prices went up. But sorry.
They're trying now to put this whole spin on social media so where they can label things that are quote unquote wrong about what people think about the economy as misinformation, and that be the same thing as with COVID or vaccine misinformation. And the issue is if something were to, they were to try to lock us down again, there would be no denying that the economy would take a hit. We've seen this happen once before. So, like, I feel like they would probably, if there was something going around, they would try not to lock us down at this point because they wouldn't want the economy to suffer the way that it did before during an election year. You know what I mean?
No, it's yeah.
Like now, I feel like they might go the opposite side of that, where something does start going around, and they're like, "No, let it ride. We gotta get through this election. Everyone to work."
Right. Well, no, but and all the free money is what drove everything to where it was laid out in that article. Give everyone a bunch of money. Everyone started buying stuff. Supply chains couldn't keep up because everything was fucking shut down. So then the prices all went up. Well, and it's like, in the article, like, well, in the last year, the prices of producing things have come down, and corporations should adjust. Well, you know how it didn't all instantly go up in a year? It's not all going to instantly come down in a year, dumbass. Again, I just have I have a high school economics education. That's the basics of it. Well, the supply chains were a year behind. Now they got to catch up.
It's not even limited to new manufactured goods. That's I mean, yeah, that's a major part of it, blah, 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 because we live in a disposable society. A lot of people don't want to buy used things. But even like in the used markets, where something as benign as old out-of-print role-playing game books, 20-sided die you have to be able to read. Not a role-playing game, you press a button on a computer or a fucking console, and it does something, like an actual book. Like, they're out of print. So sometimes, people would sell them $30-$40, or, they were originally sold for $10, $15, whatever. Okay. When COVID hit and all the stimulus checks and shit happened, holy shit, that market went nuts. Books that literally were getting $20, $25 2-3 weeks before were now going for $300-$400. Why? Because people would pay it. And that's not new goods. Sure, there's an economy that's based around that, because a lot of this was during the beginning of COVID, so a lot of this was internet fucking sales. So this was stores with an internet presence, even though they're a brick and mortar store, or if they were strictly just an online store, doing what they do. But it affected everything. It's not just any one thing. And as much as I get fucking called a reductionist over the years on this fucking podcast, holy shit, do we go fucking complete reductionist on the economy with this shit? Like, this shit affected everything and everybody. And I think we lost sight of that because we've been herded into a corner and told, worry about this shit. Go back and listen to those original fucking, when COVID hit, back when we were doing Unregimented. We kind of talked about how what's the ripple effect going to be on this shit. That's lost. No one talks about that. And that's 3 years ago. And we're living the ripple effect. We're riding the wave of the ripple effect, and no one talks about it. Why? There's trans people doing something, and they're not getting enough attention. So give it to them, whether you hate them or love them. And sure. Yeah, no, it's again, I feel I've said it over the years. Our government is very, like, they should be proactive, and they are reactive. And it don't matter what color tie is in charge. Like, we wait for shit to happen, and then we do stuff. It's like, no, why don't we, like, think ahead? There I go again. Being rational.
How dare you?
So we got sidetracked with the whole economy thing, but we were talking about the virus in China. And Jess, you had sent a story into the chat about some labs in California. What's going on there?
So, as far as I saw, it was just a lab. The only article that I sent was about one lab specifically, as far as I understood it. And it happened, or it was discovered in 2002, and it was in Reedley, California. And it was an illegal biolab, and the CDC was called out to investigate it, and they just wouldn't. They just straight up would not investigate this lab. It was run by someone who was part of the Chinese Communist Party, right? And he was from Canada, and he had 300, like a big fine against him for shit he had done in Canada. He was a fugitive in Canada, and he came down to California and opens up this illegal biolab. And whenever the CDC finally did go to investigate it, I think in May of this year, it was May or August, and I don't know why, I can't remember which one. But whenever they did finally go investigate it, they investigated it for 2 days. They found vials of tons of liquids that were, some were marked, some were written in code, some were unmarked. But the things that were marked were things like malaria and tuberculosis and COVID. And in a refrigerated section, they had something labeled Ebola. But the CDC, when they went in to investigate it, didn't actually test any of these liquids to see what they were, including the ones written in code. There are also mice found here that had, they were genetically modified mice that had an immune system to function most similarly to a human's immune system.
Okay, by the way, real quick, I just want to, I think you said 2002. I think you meant 2022.
Oh, I did. Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, that changes things a little bit. If it was 2002, it'd be like, oh, wait a minute.
Sorry, my bad.
I'd be like,
yes.
I question the website.
It was last year that it was discovered.
Gotcha.
Yes. My apologies. But yeah, just so of course, I see this on TikTok and I'm like, well, it's TikTok. Let's go see what we can find about this. And then I found something from the White House. There was a select committee over it. But yeah,
so let's pretend I'm dense. I guess, what are you getting at with this lab?
Oh, I'm not really getting at much with it other than it's quite suspicious that there is an illegal biolab that's run by, it was a People's Republic of China citizen. So that was what I was trying to remember. I don't know if there's a difference between the People's Republic of China and the Chinese Communist Party. I'm sure there is, but I don't know what the difference is.
In the PRC, just the official name for like the whole country?
Is it?
Sure.
Like how we are the United States of America. Like I think the People's Republic of China, I believe, is the name for the whole shebang-a-bang.
Okay. But anyway, it was an illegal biolab that was run by a People's Republic of China citizen who was a fugitive. What he was a fugitive for. Sorry, I pulled up the article. He's a fugitive from Canada with a 330 million Canadian dollar judgment against him for stealing American intellectual property. And this lab is found in California and reported to the CDC, and the CDC's like, no big deal.
Interesting.
Don't worry about it.
And this has all been verified?
Yeah, this is on house.gov.
Oh, so yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I mean, this isn't.
It's interesting that it's in California too.
This isn't the first, and it's a damn sure ain't going to be the last biolab that has connections to China that's been raided or found in California, because her breaking points, I want to say around the beginning of August, they reported on a Chinese biolab that was raided, and they found HIV, COVID, and hepatitis, along with lab rats, et cetera, genetically altered rats, all that stuff. So when that story popped up, I got a hold of my buddy Doc, who works in the biochemistry field, and was like, okay, break it down for me. What's going on here? And I mean, here, hold on a second. I'll give you the quote. I thought I had that pulled up. Okay, so this is a direct quote from him now. Best and most innocent explanation, they're a startup cutting every possible corner to push research and get acquired by a larger company. Worst case, they're up to some very shady shit. My best guess, perhaps with some gullibility, is that the company has acquired all sorts of shit from various other small companies that have come and gone over the years, and they likely have a shoestring budget along with a little ethical, good scientific practice concerns, and are trying to push a product they can get lots of money for. Working for a startup, I can definitely see how all sorts of shit gets acquired and how things are run on a low budget. Not to that degree, but I'm only speculating. So, I mean, I completely understand where he's coming from, because if you put it into an industry I've worked in, like the pizza industry, when a pizza shop goes under, the vultures come in and fucking get really cheap equipment if they can. And I mean, that's basically what he's saying is going on with these biolabs. And these biolabs are funded by Chinese whatever the fuck, So they're probably set up. They're probably run fly by night. And let's not negate this fact here. California isn't some small little area. California is is well over half the coast of the west coast of the country. A lot of fucking land in California. There's a lot of fucking barren land in California to set up places like this. So all the regulations in the world, ironically, coming from California, aren't going to help them with this shit if someone wants to set up in the middle of nowhere. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I a conspiracy theorist for this?
No, I was just going to go sleep tight, everybody.
Well, this is someone who works in the field, and he's like, yeah, this isn't all that fucking remote of an experience.
See, I hadn't heard of it from anywhere. This is the only one I heard of. And I do remember hearing about it in 2022. And then it was just like swept away, and I didn't hear anything else about it.
Well, it just makes me think how many times stories like this get buried.
Yes.
I mean, if you go to the Breaking Points YouTube channel, however you feel about them, they do tend to look for stories that are being ignored or buried by the mainstream press and shine a light on. And this was one of those stories. And I didn't really hear about it, I think, besides a blurb or two in other media outlets besides Breaking Points when this happened about 3 months, because it happened around the beginning of August. August, September, October, so give or take 4 months, whatever. But, I mean, is it terrifying? Absolutely. And if that's the shit that's happening in California, what the fuck is going on in other parts of the world where there are no regulations and no oversight?
I'm curious as to why the people who are leading the charge of follow the science are like, we're good. Nothing to see here. I would be really interested in what you're fucking doing if I was them, but
we can go down we hate one party and the other party isn't as bad, so that makes them the better party, or we can just get to the fucking chase. The right money got in the right pockets or hands.
Right.
That's what's going on.
Why wouldn't the CDC test what was inside of the shit labeled Ebola?
Yeah. Hey, Ebola's in California. We might want to make sure.
I don't know.
That's kind of a big deal. They refused.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Some of this shit was written in code.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with any of it. I look, as much as I love a good conspiracy theory, there is just plain old fucking governmental incompetence and just payoffs. And hey, look, we got some shadow funders and blah, 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 and people who have their money entangled in this. So here's enough money to not make a big deal about it and not really look too deep into it. And you know what? We're really sorry that happened. We'll donate a whole lot to your war chest for re-election. And boom, all types of shit gets fucking rubber stamped and overlooked. And this happens every day. Conspiracy theorist, okay. Reality denier, I don't know what else to tell you. That is exactly how the government works. It's just called lobbyists.
This person who is running this lab was a top official at a People Republic of China state-controlled company and had links to military-civil fusion entities. Which,
I'm just going to point this out. There you go. Just remember, all you people who were like, the government's horrible and religion's horrible and this and this and this and this and this. Big business, don't give a fuck who they get in bed with. Who's going to make them the most money? That's who we get in bed with. That's all they care about. Why are these horrible people having this many willing business partners with this type of shit to back them? Oh, because it turns a profit. So I guess supposed to turn a blind eye to that, along with the governmental incompetence / corruption. And at what point do the people's fucking concerns and wants and desires get taken into consideration? But I'm stupid and silly for talking about that because I'm not sucking the cock or fondling the balls of the government or a corporation. Yeah, I know. I'm an asshole.
How dare you?
The illegal biolab received millions of dollars in unexplained payments from the People Republic of China banks while it was running the biolab.
And are those banks beholden to the same fucking authorities that would have if they were subpoenaed that the banks in America are? Who was putting money in that and then basically laundering it by funneling it through that bank into investments that they otherwise would have gotten a very good, long, hard look at from the United States government and their alphabet agencies. I'm sorry. Am I being that guy? Am I asking too many questions? I'm sorry. Is football on yet? That's what I care about. And porno and books about war. That's the song we should have started off with.
Right? And a nice hardwood floor.
Floors, yes.
Oh no, yeah. You know what? Yeah, you know what those banks will tell you? Come get us.
Exactly.
Ha ha ha! American, come get us. So I didn't want to do an accent and get us fucking canceled.
you want that bank record? 5-10 minute, American. You come get.
Yeah.
You want shrimp fried rice? That's extra.
Yeah.
God damn, man. You motherfuckers don't give nothing for free, do you? Anyway, sorry. That's an old Patrice O'Neal
And then
bit.
Ping would fucking laugh at us. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll get right on those. And it's not racist. His last name is Ping. What's his name? Z Ping or whatever? China's guy.
Man, it's like when people are like, man, that accent's racist. Really? You ever been in a fucking Chinese restaurant with an old Chinese woman? How do they talk?
Yeah, Rich, the one right here, the one on Garfield. Have you been in there? Yeah, definitely.
It sounds exactly like I did.
Exactly. Yeah.
So go in there, record it, and then do your imitation of it, and tell me somehow that doing a dead nuts spot on impersonation of that is racist. Then she's racist.
Being old and Asian, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, how dare you have a racist accent? The fuck is wrong with you? Do you know white people in suburban fucking America are upset about that?
Well, did you ever notice the black comedians never get in trouble for doing the white guy impression?
Because white people don't give a fuck.
Right, exactly.
And half the time, white people are like, yeah, I know a lot of tight-ass white motherfuckers. So, yeah.
Well, yes, I do wear khakis.
Yes, I do clap on 1 and 3.
Yeah.
I do have a hard time finding a downbeat, and my wife does ask me to sit down when I pee.
I still always... That one Chappelle show skit where they're doing the inner dialogue and they had the white guy and they're at the club. He's like, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Shit, I forgot about that. Oh, shit. Oh, God. You have to be of a certain age or have watched some shit that we used to watch. There's no way, because otherwise this podcast is just like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I have no idea. If you don't know Chappelle's show, you have no idea what he's talking about.
We do try to aim it at Gen X. It's in the name.
Hey, fuck it. Yeah. You want to act like you were there, millennials and Zoomers? You got to learn what was going on for real back then. Don't let them minimize Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, for a 2-year period, ran Hollywood comedy.
Yes.
End of fucking story.
You could not go anywhere without hearing anyone of any color going, I'm Rick James, bitch.
The old motherfuckers came to Dave Chappelle to get his blessing, as if he was the new godfather of the king or something. And when he fucking said, I'm out to Comedy Central, that's when all that went away. But you got to remember, his show started in 2003, the beginning of 2003. He had a full 2 years of just dominating.
He could have done whatever he wanted.
Literally. Like he could have been like, I'm gonna make a biopic about Martin Luther King starring Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. And it's 2005, and people would have been like, if Dave Chappelle's attached, we think it's going to be genius. He's got our support, buddy. Like,
remember when Jerry Seinfeld dated a 17-year-old and nobody cared? It was like that. Dave Chappelle could have did that shit.
But Seinfeld's girl had some big titties. So that's why everyone was like, yo, damn, come on, man, save some for the rest of us. No, anyways.
Yeah, it was also Jew on Jew crime. I think you got a pass for that, too.
Oh, is that something like in the Jewish community?
I just think with a lot of brown people, it's a thing. Like
the age difference thing?
Yeah.
See, here's the reason I ask. We're really getting lost in the weeds, but I swear to God, the next subject will be something that most of y'all can relate to. Apparently, like the Nation of Islam, which if you don't know, is the American and Black American, almost exclusively, as far as I know, wing of Islam here in America, which Malcolm X used to be a member of before he left and then was assassinated. And their take on marriage was the perfect age for a man is a woman who's half the man's age plus 7 years.
That's where that came from?
I don't know if that's where it came from, but that's where it got popularized as far as I understand, here in America, and when they put it in the Malcolm X movie that come out in like 92, yeah, that started being something I started hearing a lot of Brothers in the Hood fucking quote.
See, I just always thought that was a thing. I didn't know that's where that came from. I just thought that was just some shit someone...
If you read Alex Haley's autobiography of Malcolm X, or biography, yeah.
I thought that was one of those things like where shit, when before we knew what going viral was, I thought that was just one of those things.
No, I got you, but it's in the autobiography of Malcolm X as well. So I mean, that's his own words. So,
hey, it's a good rule, and you're in your early 20s, keeps you out of jail.
But I mean, if you're 40, so that's what, 27 for a 40-year-old. It's only 13 years difference.
I'd be lying if I did. My line right now is 29. I've done, be lying if I said I didn't know the number.
I am not having this conversation. Next subject.
So China's doing crazy shit in labs apparently, and we're not supposed to notice. So that's cool.
Yeah, they're doing it both domestically and, for them domestically and internationally, because they have the virus going on with them that they're just like, no, it's fine, just a little pneumonia, don't worry about it. And then over here they're like,
nothing to see here, folks.
Has anyone ever seen what Ebola does to a mouse? Let's find out. Oh no, wait, we can't do that here, send it over to California.
But yeah, like Rich said, trans stuff, it's whatever.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Introducing Carvana Value Tracker, where you can track your car's value over time and learn what's driving it. It might make you excited.
Whoa, didn't know my car was valued this high.
It might make you nervous.
Uh-oh, market's flooded. My car's value just dipped 2.3%.
It might make you optimistic.
Our low mileage is paying off. Our value's up.
And it might make you realistic.
Car prices haven't gone up in a couple weeks. Maybe it's time to sell.
But it will definitely make you an expert on your car's value. Carvana Value Tracker. Visit Carvana.com to start tracking your car's value today.
Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
While many kids are making their holiday wish lists, the patients at Nationwide Children's Hospital are simply wishing they could be home. But you have the power to make their stay a little brighter. The moment you make a donation, the butterflies on the lawn at Nationwide Children's light up for our patients to see. And that gift brings joy, funds research, and the world's finest care. Please, light up the lawn. Light up a life. Give now at nationwidechildrens.org/give.
Introducing Carvana Value Tracker, where you can track your car's value over time and learn what's driving it. It might make you excited.
Whoa, didn't know my car was valued this high.
It might make you nervous.
Uh-oh, market's flooded. My car's value just dipped 2.3%.
It might make you optimistic.
Our low mileage is paying off. Our value's up.
And it might make you realistic.
Car prices haven't gone up in a couple weeks. Maybe it's time to sell.
But it will definitely make you an expert on your car's value. Carvana Value Tracker. Visit Carvana.com to start tracking your car's value today.
Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess? Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually. Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Okay, just while trans stuff keeps being brought up, we got to talk about the menstrual product company that launched tampons for men. We have to, because...
Oh, my God. Oh.
No, we don't have to stay on it long.
I just go.
Just read the stuff that's on the box, Jess. Just read the stuff that's on the box.
Oh, okay, hold on. We're getting there. For the product called Tampons for Men, it's sold in a navy blue box that says for men menstruation wrapped around on the other side, reading for menstruation.
I mean, let's start right there. No, they're not. Continue.
The box also states that periods are not a gender issue. Assumptions and terminology related to menstruation are highly gendered. It is important to remember that menstruation is not a sign of femininity.
Really? Because last time I checked, it means you have fallopian tubes and a uterus like a female. Sorry.
By changing attitudes and broadening perspectives, we can eliminate discrimination against gender minorities.
This story made me have this thought this week. I feel maybe I verbalized it, maybe not correctly. Don't we maybe feel we've kind of, our hubris is we've crossed over into going, hey, you know what? Nature's wrong. I know what nature has told us, but we know better. Aren't we crossing some kind of line as a species here?
But this isn't shit for it isn't shit for a trans man who I guess never had a full hysterectomy, whatever.
Yeah.
So they still have their period. Okay.
Yes.
This isn't that. We're playing pretend.
Yeah.
And corporate America goes along with it because there's $1 to be made, and they don't give a damn to the damage they do to the society that has to fucking exist for them to get their fucking dollars given to them.
Now, to be fair, I'll defend America here. This is a company from Finland.
It is, but then Tampax had to jump on there. Tampax jumped on it too. They're an American company.
And it would be disingenuous to say that American companies haven't been fucking cuddling up to anything quote unquote woke, however you want to take that word.
Well, I was gonna say now
for the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, I was gonna say too that now it will more than likely be marketed in America. I bet you try this in Finland, you might be told to go fuck off by half the country.
I don't know. Finland might have. See, here's the thing. If a country has it's live and let live attitude, which is if this is what America actually had, we wouldn't have this problem. Because a live and let live attitude would be the people who want to do it are happy that they can do it, and that's it. And the people who don't agree with it are like, yeah, well, but ultimately it really doesn't affect me and whatever. I think it's weird that you worship fucking talking snakes or you worship a religion about talking snakes and people coming back from the dead and not scaring the fuck out of everybody. But sure, yeah. So men can have menstruation. I don't give a fuck. Don't teach it in fucking school and don't act like it's fucking a reality of biology. It's not. That's all. You can't do those things, though. The people who get to do the shit they want to do have to rub it in the face of the people who didn't want them to do it, or, worse yet, support their right to do it, but don't agree with them. You can't have that. You have to agree with me. You have to 100% acquiesce. It's about domination.
Well, there you go, because you just answered. I was like, here's the question I have for the makers of these. We've been stealing a phrase from you here, Rich. Well-worn carpet on this show. Isn't the message for this whole thing is trans women are women, right? You have to treat them just like regular women. Why are you making them their own tampons? Why can't they just go to the fucking drugstore and just go to the regular tampon out? Boom, I'm a woman. These are for me. Why are you making them for men? Huh? Why does it have to be? If the whole point is we have to accept you as is, why are you setting yourself aside? Because it's exactly what you just said, Rich.
And here's the deal. I've said this over and over again. I've never met a trans person who wanted to walk around screaming, I'm trans in everyone's face. They just wanted to be accepted for the gender that they were doing their best to pass as. That's it. End of fucking story. So I don't even consider these fucking, these morons running around screaming, I'm trans, pay attention to me. I don't even consider them trans. In fact, I would bet if you could somehow guarantee there'd be no backlash, like Dave Chappelle talked about the backlash to the trans comedian that he had a friendship with from her own community, not from Dave Chappelle's fans, from her own community, bullied her to the point she killed herself. There you go. That's that compassionate progressive shit we hear about. Remember? Anyways, yes, it's just, oh God, it's just, those people aren't trans. Those people are just assholes. Those are people that would use any issue to exert control over other people. This just happens to be the one that gives them the most leverage because it gives them the most victim fucking capital in our society, and that's capital in our society, victimhood.
It's so absurd that I really struggle to like put into words how absurd it is. Go take us back 10 years, put us in a time machine 10 years ago and tell us that we were going to be talking about tampons for men that were actually hitting shelves. Tampons marketed to men. And that's just 10 years ago.
10 years ago, tampons for men was a fucking joke and a stand-up act. And now we're here. A pregnant man, there was a movie called, what was it, Junior? What was the Schwarzenegger movie, Rich?
Junior.
Yeah.
Junior.
And now we talk about it like it's commonplace, and we have to, like, it's a thing. Like, it's not a fucking thing. Like, no. Really, we're crossing, like, we're saying nature is wrong. Like, that doesn't, like, nobody's going, huh. Like, that's not making anybody stop for a second. Like, I am not coming from the place of, you're saying God made a mistake. No, like, you're saying that how things played out naturally, biologically, for millions of years, we're all of a sudden going, no, that's wrong. Hold up. I feel there's, like, tons of movies and books about this shit.
Well, also, how many of these people who would say that, no, in this case, nature is wrong, were the ones that were going, oh, isn't it, like, wrong and paranoid? Basically echoing the Bill Hicks sentiment. Isn't it wrong and paranoid to make nature illegal, a.k.a. make a plant illegal? Something readily found in nature that'll grow on its own? All of a sudden, when it comes to legal marijuana, they don't impede nature. But in this case, no, nature got it wrong.
No.
Nature just got it wrong.
My 7-year-old son's supposed to be a girl.
What kills me is the people who buy into shit like this and who, like, go around talking about, the trans women are real women and all of that are the same people that will yell at you for playing dress up on Halloween and dressing like an Indian. Oh. Because that's cultural appropriation.
Yeah. There's no ethical, there's no moral true north with these people. It's whatever wins the argument or whatever their leaders and their side tell them to fucking use as talking points.
Yeah, what are our marching orders?
That's why every week it's harder and harder for me to sit here and go, I can't give the idiots outnumber us, Jess. We're surrounded on all sides by morons. I don't know what else to tell people. I'm sorry. And here's the deal. I don't give a fuck if your political leanings are right to the left or dead nut center or whatever the fuck. If you're intelligent, if you are aware of your surroundings, if you don't jump to conclusions, if you actually let the facts play out and let the facts fall where they fucking may, and let the truth be like rain and not give a fuck who it falls on, I'm sorry. This world ain't built for us.
I will tell you, though, I did find a glimmer of hope because there was a comment section on this article. And I went down to it really, like, ready to have my feelings hurt. And the comments are, it's there. You can find them both pro and against, right? But mainly it's people talking about, wait, is this satire? A person with a womb and has periods is a woman by sex, is not a man. Ha ha ha. On this week's episode of Punk'd, please someone wake me up from this absurd dream. What would it look like if a woman and a wannabe were fighting over the last package of tampons? And I'm reading them in order. Like, this isn't me skipping around. I skipped some of the front ones just because this is where I had scrolled to. And there are people who say, this towards the top, it's not called menstruation for nothing. The next thing you know, women will be allowing, or America will be allowing women to vote. Crazy. I like and prefer capitalism, but sometimes it results in some weird things. But like, for the most part, the comments on there were talking about just the complete absurdity of this. And that gave me just a tiny amount of hope.
I've mentioned it before. People are starting to get tired of it's. I'm telling you, there's a difference there. People who are on the fence about anything to do with anything transgender. If all you see of transgender people are the quote unquote transgenders online, you're probably going to have a very negative opinion of transgender people. But when you see someone who's, I'm trying to be as polite as possible, making as strong an effort as they possibly can to pass as the gender that they're trying to pass as, but just for whatever reason, it ain't 100%. It's amazing how those people will instantly, even if they're on the fence and they're like, yeah, I don't really agree with transgender stuff. If it's a transgender woman walking up, they'll refer to a biological man as ma'am. Why? I'm giving you the respect of trying. These are not people that are trying. These are people that are just literally driving and pushing a movement from behind the keyboard, and they have no economic fucking firepower behind them. If you need any fucking proof that none of these activist fucking entertainment modern audience types give a fuck about anything that panders to them, look at the new Marvels movie. It did less than $50 million on its opening weekend in the United States. That's something like, I think they broke it down with all the screens it's on. It's less than $1,700 per screen opening weekend. Think about that. A Marvel movie opened up to that.
Yeah.
Its budget, the reported budget, $250 million, which means you can probably add another $100 million to it. Which means that movie would have had to break $1 billion that movies have to make, depending on who you ask, 2.5 to 3 times their budget to make a profit. It ain't happening. And is this Rich? That's one example. Oh, I'm sorry. Want us to keep it with Disney? Look at the new fucking Indiana Jones movie that came and went like a fart in a whirlwind. Who remembers that?
How about the one that just came out Thanksgiving weekend, Wish? 3rd place.
There you go. And if we want to get away from Disney, we can go over to DC. Look at the Flash movie. That's the reported budget on the Flash. I've heard as high as $300 million, so you could probably almost bump it up to $500 million on that movie. That movie, I think, will be lucky to crack, I think, $250 million worldwide. And there's, by the way, physical media will be almost all but officially dead next year because beginning on the 1st, Walmart, Best Buy, and a bunch of other big box stores will stop carrying physical media such as DVDs and CDs. So there's no secondary fucking release market to save these flops anymore. And what do all these movies have in common? They all pandered to modern audiences. The people with blue hair screaming online. The people who never support what they say they want.
Well, I mean, the classic example I could tell you is the WNBA. It's been around for what? 25 years. The NBA has to subsidize it because it doesn't make money. It's Bill Burr's joke, but it's true. Where are you at, ladies? These things should be packed. Detroit had a team that won like 3 championships in like a decade.
A row.
Yeah, and it had to move. Like a year after it won like its last championship, it had to move.
But see, that's what they've been banking on, Chris, because the WNBA has been doing this for, 25 years now? The minute anyone brings up women do go. There's just not enough women fans. But if you look at all the men who watch male basketball, if they went to games at the WNBA, or they went to WNBA games, WNBA be a success. Yeah, but they don't want to watch slow fucking women play basketball.
Why do we have to go? We have our own league.
But Chris, hold on, I got
You're 51% of the population. There's more of you, bitches.
No, I got it better for you than that. This Marvel's movie come out. 67% of the people who went to see this movie opening weekend, men. The pro fucking progressive and culture war and feminist bullshit online places. The reason this movie failed because men wouldn't go see it. Even when it's overwhelming majority men supporting something and women just abandoning it or worse, being completely apathetic from the get-go, not caring whatsoever, men's fault. That's what they're going with. That's the explanation for this. Man-baby trolls on the internet made this movie fail. Who's the conspiracy theorist now?
Right. Yeah, right. It's like if a minority or a woman is heavily involved in something anymore, you are not. It's not allowed to be bad. You cannot have made it bad.
It's not allowed to fail, and if it does, white men aren't responsible for it.
Like you making a terrible product is not in the cards. It's not allowed. It's not on the table. It's not an option. How many more cliches you want? And that's like, I think one of the defining characteristics of Gen X is we could sniff out pandering and we would tell you to get that shit out of here. But Jess, your people and the generation after you, they fucking love it. And I don't understand why. It's fake. It's not. They're doing it to make money. They don't care. I do not understand why the two generations behind me eat this shit up with a spoon, because me and my cohorts would tell you to get that shit fucking out of here.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. Real world boots on the ground interactions with Gen Z, I don't see the pandering being fucking lapped up with a fucking soup spoon. I'm just saying.
No, I guess what I'm saying is the tone of all of the. I'm saying the tone of all of the marketing at them. I guess was what I'm getting at.
Well, you got to remember there was that shift between the baby boomers to Gen X marketing, even though quote unquote Gen X marketing lasted less than a decade because what you said, we could sniff this shit out, and really Gen X marketing was kind of one note. It's a one trick pony. It was extreme. Okay. We don't care about it. That word sucked the minute we heard it. What the fuck? We don't care.
I love how they made fun of it in Harold and Kumar. Extreme cheddar!
but that was it. There's Gen X marketing.
Yeah.
Everything was extreme. So it's like, okay. But I mean, I think personally that we've entered this, Jesus Christ. I don't even know what to call it. It's a false construct. The people who call everything a social construct are socially constructing this bullshit out of thin air. None of this shit. Like I said,
it's like they're building the world how they wish it would be instead of looking at it how it is.
But there's no true north because they can't get together and agree on which way is north. So, north is to me my truth this way. North is to me my truth this way.
Well, I read on the internet that north is this way.
But I'm just saying, I think Gen Z is going to end up being a lot more like Gen X, just like Gen X is a lot more like the silent generation, a.k.a. our grandparents' generation, than we are like our parents.
Well, the 18 through 30s right now are polling better with Trump than they were 3 years ago.
Isn't everybody polling better with Trump than they were 3 years ago?
But isn't it ultimately just I hope that if I vote for Trump, things will get better? What's different between casting that vote and buying a lottery ticket? I hope I hit the lottery because things will get better.
Well, because historically things were better.
Yeah, but what Rich is getting at, since he's been in office, there's been a lot of bells you ain't unringing. Yeah. No matter who's in charge.
Yeah, any right the government takes via regulation, you'll have to take back in blood. There's no country who's ever been taken over by a dictator or one wing of one wing or one political party or governmental party, whatever, that it's went quiet. So how far does this shit go? I mean, how far do we just fucking let people just make up their own fucking realities and we just all go along with it? Because at a certain point, it's unsustainable. I'm telling you, it's unsustainable. And the shit that they are telling kids, grade school level kids, is flat out lies. You are special. You are unique. You are genius. You're a leader. What? That escalated quickly.
You're so fucking special. There's 8 billion of us.
And not every kid is, I know, but you can't. Dude, once they start shitting out these miracles, you can't convince them that their miracle ain't special. Because it's special to me. Oh, okay, so that means special to everybody, huh? All right, Bertha. Keep pumping them out. But every kid's a genius? Every kid's a leader? Then who follows? Who listens to the genius talk? And by the way, if you see the teachers telling these kids that they're geniuses and leaders, these teachers couldn't find a genius and a leader with both hands and a flashlight. So I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I feel we were told when we were let out into the world from our institutions of higher learning that, and I don't think the people behind us have been told this. Rich, I know that you heard this. Hey, the world needs janitors. Someone's got to pick up shit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, I think high school guidance counselors give the same rap and have been given the same rap for 30, 40, maybe even 50 years at this point, which is the rap that they can give to every student that walks through their doors that is what they consider a lost cause, that'll get the parents off their back and out their office the quickest, which is, your student it may not reflect in their academic scholastic grades, but your student has leadership abilities and blah, 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 blah. Because every fucking retarded jackass I know and went to school with was told that shit by their high school guidance counselor. Oh. But outside of that, no. If you fucking sat there and got into a verbal altercation with a teacher, 9 times out of the 10, that teacher went out of their way to make sure the whole class thought you were fucking functionally retarded at best. Now, it's almost like I see videos of it. It's almost like they're apologizing to the kids. There's videos, plenty of fucking compilation videos. And yes, they're only like 4 or 5 seconds, but you can watch all the videos if you want and run up to it. And 9 times out of 10, it's the kids who start this shit of kids just beating the shit out their teachers in classrooms and teachers just sitting there having to take it. While other kids are like, do something. We dare you. Do something. And I'm just like,
Dude, I had some teachers in Catholic school where you could tell, like, God damn it, I used to be able to hit you. Like, you'd be shitting your pants. Like, oh, this person is pissed. Like,
yeah.
Dude, there's some shit I went through and with some Catholic school teachers that, this person would be a war criminal now. Like, hands were never laid on me, but just some of the things that were said to me and the tones that were used, like, oh man, like, oh, holy shit. Like, I know it's cliche, it would not happen today. It would not go down that way today. No way. Like, seriously, I was in second grade I went into second grade in 1986, and the chatter around the school was like, oh, till like 2 years ago, the nuns could hit you. Like, I just made it. Dude, my dad used to get hit with a fucking ruler in school, in front of the class.
Yeah, when I started school, corporal punishment was still allowed. Like, in public school, they didn't hit you. But, by the way, if you look up to the letter of the law, especially in Florida, they really stuck to this. Corporal punishment is like, the reason they fought to keep it on the books is because it's anything like where they could make you do any type of physical activity as punishment for acting up. So, literally, go run laps is corporal punishment. That's not how we were raised to think of corporal punishment, but by the letter of the law, that's what it is.
Oh, there was standing in the corner, there was putting desks out in the hall, there was putting desks away from the rest of it. There's all that crap.
Oh, we had a teacher that you didn't want to read. You didn't want to read out loud. You wanted to throw your book, or you wanted to fucking not take care of, like, wrap the book up in the fucking paper like they told us to and all that shit. Take care of your book. Okay. Go back, put your back up against the wall. Now squat to where you're in a sitting position, and you get to hold your book out in front of you, and you get to sit there until they get tired. And I'm just like, that's shit they do to people in the military, and I don't think they've done that for 20 years now. And that was shit that was going on in grade school when I was in grade school. And nobody fucking flinched or blinked an eye. But I guarantee you, all these same fucking people that didn't even flinch or blink an eye then, if they were still in the same fucking field of childhood development and education, 5-10 years later, when it was taboo to do that, would be like, oh, that's horrible. Well, why weren't you saying that shit then? Because you have no true moral fucking north on your compass. You people have no backbone. You have no ethics. You flop around in the wind like a fucking weed. Useless. But yeah, let's let them fucking educate the next couple generations. How's that working out so far? Let me ask you a question, Chris. You've hired people as part of your fucking job at one point. Motherfucker walked in, told you two people walked in. One said, I have a high school. Both, they said they had a high school education, but one said, I have a public high school education. One said, I have a private school high school education. Who the fuck are you giving much more consideration to based on that?
The private school. Well, first of all, the private school guys rather than even coming in to the things I was hiring people for, because
private school.
Yeah,
that's just the first step.
Well,
I've
told the story 100 times. I went to the Catholic education went up to 9th grade. I did Catholic high school for 9th grade, and I switched public school 10th grade. I did the exact same stuff, like almost literally 10th grade in public school. Like, it was like, oh my God. Public school's a year behind. Like, read all the same books in English class, had all like the same type of science classes, all the same type of math classes, all of it. It's like, holy shit. Like, that's why, like, I could have had a much better GPA, but, well, you kind of got bored in 10th grade and slept through most of the year. I just did this. Like, pass all the tests because, like, yeah, I remember all the shit. I just did it last year.
I would venture to guess that it's probably much more than just 1 or 2 years behind now. No, you have high school graduates who can't read above a 3rd grade level. And I'm like, how do you graduate and you can't read above a 3rd grade level is like a twat hair above fucking Dr. Seuss.
Dude, and there are some schools that are starting to do away with grades. Some schools that are starting to do away with GPAs. There are some colleges that are like, we're no longer going to consider GPAs for admission because blah, 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 racism.
Of course.
Yeah. Like, so, all right. It is just, man, I'm glad I didn't make any more people.
I
would just shrug my shoulders at him every day going, good luck. Don't be a shithead. And good luck. Have fun with the world that's being built.
Well, it's getting to be near oh shit territory when you have like 30, 35-year-old black folks talking about, oh, hell no, I wouldn't send my kid to public school. Are you kidding me? They produce nothing but retards. And I'm like, wow.
I was talking to my brother-in-law on Thanksgiving because we went to the same high school about how many of the teachers we had were just fucking checked out and just, I'm just here. They were Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined because they were within like 5 years.
Okay, but I need to give context to people not from Metro Detroit who don't understand why it's so weird to hear black parents of that age say that, because it has been a very major point to make in Detroit that we need to keep the Detroit public school system going. That's been a fucking mantra they've been in war drum they've been beating for like 3 decades now.
Oh yeah, charters. If you bring up charter schools in Detroit, you get shouted down. They throw tomatoes at you.
But you're having a majority that has been silent in the black communities finally being comfortable, or maybe this is my white privilege, I guess. They can talk to this fey cracker ass motherfucker over here. I don't know. But like, for them just to mention that shit, that was something 20 years ago. It's almost ironic because as much as they would like us to think the racial shit is so bad right now, like I'm thinking 20 years ago, you wouldn't really bring that up to a black person if you didn't agree with them on that subject, because it's going to be most likely a heated debate verging on an argument. There's probably going to be accusations of racism and white flight and everything else thrown about, and all hell's going to break loose. Now, they've made shit so horrible, black people and white people are both like, it's some bullshit. There you go. There's equality. What did we start saying when we started this podcast? Everybody be equal? It's a race to the bottom. Because the only way we can be equal is if we're all equally worthless. That's it. Mm-hmm. But hey,
no, I mean Detroit.
2.5 generations raised by single mothers who want everybody's feelings to be taken into consideration regardless of the fucking outcome has led us here.
Yay!
Hey, single motherhood. Murphy Brown did it in the 90s, and it was something. No one remembers it now, but it was a big deal then. And yeah, you've come a long way, bitch. Congratulations.
And nobody wants to mention you're not allowed to bring, because hate facts come into play. Just how children from two-parent families do compared to children from not two-parent families.
85% of men sitting in prison grew up in, survey says, single-parent homes. Number one answer. Thank you. And by the way, that's across racial and economic lines.
Yeah.
So it's not based on socioeconomic factors. That's just...
Ooh, the other thing you're not allowed to bring
Daddy up? Not in the home.
The other thing you're not allowed to bring up, because it's another hate fact? How come more men are in prison than women?
Do you understand how light of sentences women get for the exact same crimes that men will get convicted of?
Yes.
It was like they get on average 2/3 of the time the men get. Now it's down to half.
There you go. And that's why you get 71 cents on the dollar. Hey, you get paid less. You pay less in car insurance. You do less prison time. You live longer. That's also provable.
You walk in divorce court and you get fucking immediately, you're assumed to be the best parent by virtue of vagina.
Never mind the 71 cents on the dollars because you guys choose different careers that pay different. But shh.
Take time off for pregnancy. Shh.
Yeah.
So it's an earnings gap. It's not a wage gap, but you can't explain that to people who don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jess.
Oh, I was just saying with the court thing that it's no longer just assumed for the woman. That's taken a pretty good shift now. And almost every custody fight now is 50-50. Like, whenever
it depends on where you're at, what state you're at.
Does it?
My experience, you go to New York, the more welfare driven the state is, the more daddy's going to have to pay. And mommy's going to get custody because they can the welfare state can perpetuate itself only by giving in itself an excuse to keep turning and grinding its gears, which is single mothers who need welfare help. And we can always go after the fathers. And if the fathers don't pay in the state of New York, they go to jail. So either way, the state of New York is either going to get garnished wages to pay for the welfare that the woman is, quote unquote, getting for free, or they're going to get free labor out of the man when they send him to prison, which, by the way, makes him a permanent underclass citizen, or it gives us a society a permanent underclass. What'd you go to jail for? I didn't pay my child support. Oh, you're a piece of shit. You're a scumbag. We're not going to talk about how they won't readjust the guy's child support, and when he was working wherever the fuck making X amount of money, it was set at this rate. Now he makes a quarter of what he used to make, but he still has to pay at the old rate because, we're not going to readjust it. We'll look at it when we look at it. Yeah, I know people that happen to for real. But I know that's anecdotal evidence. It doesn't matter because somebody online said so. So it doesn't matter.
I am not calling you wrong.
I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying this is how people fucking think. How many times am I got to see some shit with my own fucking eyes before I can go, okay, no, it ain't the way you're fucking saying it is?
I guess I am just seeing it differently, but that could be where I live. That could just be the difference between... I don't know what red state versus blue state would have to do with it, or just my state's politics. I don't really know.
My guess is probably it depends on how much money is in the area. The more money that can be bled via the family court, divorce lawyers, and getting judges and magistrates and everybody else that's fucking part of that process in there, getting them an excuse to get a paycheck sent to them. Yeah, whatever the fuck they're going to do. The lower income area you're in, the more of those fucking parasites you're going to find. It's just the nature of the beast. Please don't think I'm mad at you, Jess. I'm not. I wasn't mad. I didn't mean to come off like I'm attacking you personally because it's not about you. It's just I get it. I understand. People are like, but it's not like that. I had this situation happen. I understand that, but that's not the baseline. I have 3 friends in the last 5 years who got divorced who have kids, and one of them got 50-50 custody, and the other 2, it was just like, I don't have the money to fight for it. Because I not only do I got to pay for my lawyer, I have to pay for her lawyer, and I have to pay for the court cost.
Okay, that I disagree with. But did they not fight? Did they just not go to court? Did they just settle in mediation and just give her what she wanted? Or did they go to court? Because I'm looking at it right now. I'm on Wikipedia.
Okay, I can only say for I'm trying to see if this hold on a second. I'm trying to decide if I'm ethically okay to say this. I think so, because I'm not naming any names. His situation was, her lawyer was like, no, she gets primary. They can have joint custody, but she gets primary physical custody because that entitles her to all government and child support benefits. And he was like, his lawyer was like, you want to fight that? That's like $5-6 grand. That's what I'm going to need up front as a retainer to even start this process. And he's like, I don't have it. Well, what do you have? I have this. This gets you this. That's what I can do for you for that amount of money. That's how the system works. It just is what it is. And I mean, this is why I tell every guy I talk to, should I have kids? Should I get married? As long as you understand the risk you're taking, understand. She can wake up one day and not like the way you part your hair in a no-fault divorce state, and your life just entered hell for the next 3 to 5 years.
So I am learning via, again, Wikipedia, that, and it's all really happened, it looks like since 2017, that most states, just from what I'm scrolling and seeing, are presumed to be 50-50. Whenever you're divorcing, they presume that it will be a 50-50 shared custody of the kids. Unless someone does lawyer up and tries to show, or has, I guess, way to show that that would not be in the best interest of the kid. But if you're doing just a no contest, we're divorcing, this is how this is going to go, most states that I'm just scrolling and seeing right now are presumption 50-50.
Well, that kind of tracks with what I'm saying, because I mean, I'm suffering the old man itis here. I fully admit that, and I retract what I said about 5 years ago. I'm thinking between roughly 2015, 2020.
Totally different time then. And because I thought the same thing. I've heard of people getting divorced, and they're really trying to fight the man to keep the kids, and the dad gets 50-50, no matter, with evidence brought against them for reason that I would assume if I were a judge would be reasons not to.
Yep. I mean, my experience in all this will shit all over everything Rich just said, but I have a nephew who his dad doesn't pay dick, and he has a job off the books, and it's been proven, and it doesn't matter, and my sister adheres to the custody agreement, and he just does what the county we live in is. He gets arrested once every holiday season, pays his $5 grand every year, and then we'll fucking see you next year.
As long as the friend of the cunt gets their fucking cut, like any good fucking mafioso, excuse me, they don't give a fuck.
Nope.
So they pick them up, pay your fucking tax to the state. That $5 grand, your sister ain't seeing that fucking full $5 grand.
Correct. She has given up. She is just to the point where she's like, I'm out of money for lawyers. I'm sick of wasting my time. I've proven to them he's being fucking shady, and fucking she's just whatever. She's like he'll get to the age where he figures out who he is, and then it'll be fucking done.
And see, that's a lot of my experience with it, is just the dads being given rights that in my opinion, they shouldn't be given. But it's just because we're a 50-50 state. So that's all I was saying about that. I'm not, y'all know me, I'm not one to jump on the feminist train. But this isn't a feminist train. This is just, there are not divorce laws in place to defend and protect men. But almost every divorce law in place is there to defend and protect women. And they're going to go in there and cry about, I'm accustomed to this lifestyle. My child needs half of his fucking money and plus another 18%, and him to cover all the bills and all the blah, blah. Well, if you need that much of his money, why isn't he fucking raising the kid and you fucking visiting the kid? Since he's got all the fucking the ways and means, that's never brought up though. And if it is, a kid belongs with his mother. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's the response you get.
Now, because I love being in the middle, I do. From the other side, I got a buddy who, when he was going back and forth, when him and a mother of his kids split up, he had all kinds of character witnesses and social media proof that this chick loved drinking and partying more than being a mom, and the answer was no. Nope, she's a mom. They live with her full time, and he played the game my sister went, tired of paying lawyers. I'm tired of going through court. And when they got to the age where they could figure out what's going on, guess who they decided they wanted to live with? The judge kept well, you work too much.
Here's the deal. It really does depend on the luck of the draw you get as far as the judge and where your family court takes place at. And this is what is so insane about our system. You will talk to family law experts. You will talk to divorce lawyers, and they will go, "Oh, it all depends on where it's filed and what judge we pull." Wait a minute. The law is the law. Why does it matter where and what judge is sitting behind the bench for the trial? You're admitting there's bias in this shit, and you're saying it right up front, and nobody has beef with it. Now tell me how you're supposed to navigate that system when there are no fucking rules. You can't get any solid ground under your feet. What are you supposed to do when you go to one judge in one county and it's one fucking set of standards that you're held to? You go to another judge in another county because she moved and it's a completely different set of standards you're held to. And everybody acknowledges it and nobody gives a fuck or does a fucking thing about it. Now, ladies, I'm just going to say this. Now do you understand why men just throw their hands up and go, we give up. We become accustomed to living with shit being wrong. Because that's called life for us. Just is. No one cares. No government agency is going to come fucking rescue any men from this shit. We can't cry loud enough to get a whole month for people to wear baby blue because of nut cancer or some shit. But y'all get fucking breast cancer awareness. Everybody in the world's aware of breast cancer, okay? Where's all this
Yeah, what happened to Movember? What was it, 10 years ago? Everyone was growing mustaches for nut cancer. What happened to that?
No, now it's No Nut November. Don't jerk off in November. What?
Oops.
How the fuck is it No Fap November? What, or whatever the fuck they call it. They've changed the name a few times. I'm like,
Well, it was just No Shave November. That's all I've ever heard.
Not a guy. I've had to explain this to some people in my life recently that women, you just don't understand men like you think you do. And also, younger dudes, you're not real men compared to us older dudes. Sorry. Case in point, if I run out of the bathroom and look at any of my friends and go, yo, dude, you got to come in here and see this. What do you think I'm going to point out to you?
Turd.
Thank you. And why am I pointing it out to you?
Because it is to be pointed out.
Because it's probably, yes, there's something worthy about that. Why is it everybody around me goes, that's disgusting. What is it with you and shit? And I'm like, because one person ran out the bathroom and told another person, both of these people female, by the way, come look at this. And I'm like, is it a world record?
Yeah, did you break the water line?
Yeah, I'm like, is it coming up out of the water like a swan neck or something? You know what I'm saying? Does it look like you took your ass and swirled it around like soft serve ice cream?
I did that recently.
Give me some details.
I did that recently, but you were sleeping. But I broke the water line. I was like, oh shit, I haven't done this in a long time.
But yes, and it's just like, that's disgusting. And then the younger dudes chip in, they're like, man, I've never done that about shit. And I'm just like,
different generation.
I just want to look at it and be like, do you find it hard to hide the fact you're gay?
But the other thing too, you could be like, well, we did not have the internet my entire life. This is what happened.
But here's the irony of it. If you're even 10 years younger than us, you probably remember, if you're 10 years younger than us and you're a guy, Jess, or you're a very sick chick who is in this really sick shit on the internet, you probably remember a site called ratemypoo.com.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's also, there's various other ratemys.com, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know if it's still up, but yeah, that used to be a thing. And man, when flip phones, like when we realized the cameras and the possibilities, Rate My Poo became must see fucking internet for real. So yes, I'm not the weird one here. Now here's Jess gonna be like, I don't know anything about any of this.
She will. She will.
Oh no, I know some things about some of these things.
Okay, fair enough.
In her household, she will.
Oh, well, that's fair.
Within 5 years, she will.
No, remember, I have a husband. I know.
My ex-wife was the fucking Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady of the fart game, all rolled into one. And my friends, I warned them, you come at the king at your own risk. Okay? I'm telling you, and if you come at the king, you best not miss. And I had friends, and she's like, that's funny, right? Yeah, okay. And dude, she would drop some shit. The people were like, oh my God, I've smelled corpses that smelled better. And I mean, and she'd wait till they're half asleep and just hover and just fart into their open mouth. I mean, just drill one right into their open mouth. So chicks fart and it smells like hot dogs. I know. Because my wife and my daughter are both women and they fart.
Okay, Turk.
You say it smells like hot dogs?
That's some Scrubs.
Oh.
The last good season of Scrubs. All right.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Introducing Carvana Value Tracker, where you can track your car's value over time and learn what's driving it. It might make you excited.
Whoa, didn't know my car was valued this high.
It might make you nervous.
Uh-oh, market's flooded. My car's value just dipped 2.3%.
It might make you optimistic.
Our low mileage is paying off. Our value's up.
And it might make you realistic.
Car prices haven't gone up in a couple weeks. Maybe it's time to sell.
But it will definitely make you an expert on your car's value. Carvana Value Tracker. Visit Carvana.com to start tracking your car's value today.
Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Introducing Carvana Value Tracker, where you can track your car's value over time and learn what's driving it. It might make you excited.
Whoa, didn't know my car was valued this high.
It might make you nervous.
Uh-oh, market's flooded. My car's value just dipped 2.3%.
It might make you optimistic.
Our low mileage is paying off. Our value's up.
And it might make you realistic.
Car prices haven't gone up in a couple weeks. Maybe it's time to sell.
But it will definitely make you an expert on your car's value. Carvana Value Tracker. Visit Carvana.com to start tracking your car's value today.
Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Do we have anything of, what the fuck time is it? Is anyone still listening? What the fuck are we doing now? What are we doing here?
We got that Rolling Stone list.
Okay,
they're at it again.
Right, we gotta split this up. Okay, so when we covered the top 250 guitar players, according to Rolling Stone today, a couple weeks ago or whatever it was, a month ago, Jess wasn't on. This time it's
so we were able to just nerd, it was
oh yeah.
If you like hearing music nerds being music nerds, go. I believe the episode is called Two Rolling Stoned.
The fact that I'm sitting there listening to a couple weeks later, I'm listening to "Losing Your Mind" by fucking Zakk Wylde, and I'm just like, damn, dude, we nerded out over how cleanly he picked that one section,
yeah.
And it's like. Only guitar nerds would appreciate that. Everyone else is like, that's not so showy, blah, blah, blah. No, but it's insanely fucking hard.
No, but anyone who can do that is fucking sweet.
That is insane.
Yes.
That is picking control that I could only dream of, and I've had guitar players who are fucking, they've been all over the world touring and be like, you got damn good fucking pick control and your finesse with your picking and all that shit. And I'm nowhere close to that. So,
and that's back when everything was on tape. Like, he played it. Anyway.
So they have an 80s now. It's the top 200 of the 80s, but they have this stipulation, which is...
Yeah, let me read their terms here. Oh, they don't really throw out terms, but I could tell you there's only... you only get one song.
Per artist on the list.
Which...
So for an example, just as an example, we're not saying this is the song, okay? Just an example. If they were like Prince... They'd be like, okay, Purple Rain is the song that we believe Prince is best known for from the 80s. And that would represent his entire body of work in the 80s, according to them. This is right? Or am I misinterpreting the rules? This is their rules, not ours. So what we want to do, so we can include everybody on the podcast.
Because, in reality, first of all, if they were honest, like Michael Jackson would be half the top 10.
Oh, yeah. Easy. Yeah. But what we want to do is we have an 80s baby. And what? But she don't remember the 80s.
And we have two people who grow up and Rich, do you remember all of them? Because
yes.
I remember 82-ish on.
My first confirmed memory from both my parents was I was 3.5, maybe on the other side of the half. So half plus, 3.5 plus. And I remember being in a movie theater and the beginning of Empire Strikes Back starts. And that's 1980. That movie come out, I turned 3 in 1980 in April, and that movie come out in May.
If I'm saying 3.5-ish, then that tracks for me, because if you say 3.5-ish, that tracks, because 82 would be that for me. So we have conscious memories of the 80s and the music. Like radio was king in the 80s. That was the mode of delivery for music and MTV.
Big time. And I have been making a updating playlist for my drive times and shit. And I definitely clearly remember my mom getting ready for work and Stepping Out by Joe Jackson playing on the radio. Like, I can close my eyes and see that.
Oh, I remember hearing...
And it was new because I remember, because they've said it was new on the radio. They're like, this new, blah, 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 blah. And it's just one of those memories that's burned into my head forever for whatever reason. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was like 80, 81 when that song come out. So, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember. I remember that. I totally remember listening to a lot of these songs. So, Rich, you were saying what we were going to do for the 80s. Child, we had an idea.
We'll name the artist,
and
then Jess will name whatever song that she can, that if she can, that she thinks would be representative of that artist's work being the most 80s. So,
all right, and
does that make sense?
Yeah,
I know very little, so just be prepared for y'all's feelings to be hurt.
And Rich, I'm going to skim the list and also just anyone that's of note, because in true Rolling Stone fashion, there is a lot of people on this list. Like, I'm a music nerd, and I haven't heard of a lot of these people. Like, really,
that makes me want to look at the list because it's the 80s. And I'm going, who are they pulling from that's that obscure?
Yeah,
that would be on a list of top songs. But I mean, after that guitarist list, they're not going off of whether they were a top song or whatever is how influential we think they are.
Yeah,
which is that's not how that works, but sure.
All right, so this is just for people who want to know. If you want to know the bookends, 199 is Biz Markie, Just a Friend. There's no way she knows that. And does anyone know another Biz Markie song?
Summertime, The Biz in Me, but I get it. But Biz Markie was he was on he did a couple songs with Dougie Fresh and shit like that. If you know old school hip hop, even if you don't know the names of these songs, if you heard these songs, if you heard these beats, if you heard these samples, you'd be like, I know that. He's on a ton of that stuff. But you wouldn't know it's him because he's mostly beatboxing.
Gotcha.
So
198, I'm not even tell her the fucking artist. I'm going to go with the song title. 99 Luft Balloons.
Which translates to 99 red balloons.
Oh, I know the song.
All right.
There you go.
Cool.
I think that song should be higher because that song dominated in the 80s into the 90s.
I think that's
even into the 2000s.
That's a top 50er for sure.
Easy.
Which, by the way, I'm going to make hash marks here.
Okay, 197, we're already at the bullshit. There's no way this was a fucking... No. 1988, fuck you. I was 11, and I was fucking very aware of what was going on, especially in the fucking charts. My Bloody Valentine was not on anyone in the fucking top 40's goddamn radar.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Rolling Stone. And I'm not saying that because my Bloody I'm shitting on my Bloody Valentine. I'm shitting on Rolling Stone trying to fucking rewrite history.
No,
Fuck you cocksucker.
Well, even when Rolling Stone was a little bit closer to the mainstream, they still tried to be up their own ass with stuff. That falls in that category. Bobby Brown, Jess.
Whitney Houston's husband.
Nope.
Wow.
No. Okay.
All right. And I think for
my prerogative, I gotta say, I agree.
That's
fair. Yeah, that's fair.
But 196. I mean, he was New Edition and him were large, and especially his solo career was large.
Yeah,
like he should definitely at least be in the top 100.
Oh God. Wow.
I don't even know who
ahead, and I'm just like, wow. But go ahead.
I don't even know who 195 is.
The Fall, New Big Prince, Prinz.
Yeah, I don't even.
Sure. It's one of The Fall cranked out a slew of post-punk gems in the 1980s with Mark E. Smith presiding as the hip priest, the caustic Manchester git who took pride in terrorizing fans and bandmates alike. Okay, so you were critics, darling. Now here to me is where this proves how up their ass they are. Jess, 194.
Yeah.
The Bangles.
Oh, wait.
You know the song the minute I say it.
Let her get there.
Ooh, I don't know. I know them. I do know them.
Well, yeah, first of all, yeah. Okay, so yeah, the Bangles with song I've never heard of. Hero Takes a Fall. Rich, you ever heard of that song?
No.
Yeah.
And they're trying to, it was the breakout hit from their 84 album All Over the Place.
No. Walk Like an Egyptian.
Oh, yeah.
That was their number. That song was number one for like most of 1987. Like that song.
It was before that. By like 87, 88, I think they were onto like Eternal Flame.
It was same album.
No. With Manic Monday? Manic Monday Prince wrote for it.
Mm-hmm. Because
he was like, hey, let me hit that. And that was
I think Manic Monday, 85. Eternal Flame, and Walk Like an Egyptian were all from the same album.
I don't know. To me, it just feels like fucking, it feels.
Because I used to watch Nick Rocks. That was like when
I'm trying to think of all their hits. All their hits were in 1986, I think. So I guess they could still have some residual fucking heat left over from if they had some like top 40 hits in 86, they could still be getting radio play.
Remember Nickelodeon had Nick Rocks? They basically sanitized MTV for little kids.
Yeah.
That's how I watched all my videos.
And what was it, Kids Incorporated?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I knew that's Fergie. Mario Lopez was on that. Who else was on there? Fergie, Mario. Martika was on there. The Toy Soldiers chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the Mickey Mouse Club was a Mickey Mouse Club, at least in the 90s. Anyway, yeah, 193. Aha. Jess, you did.
That's the band?
Yes.
Nope.
You know that.
She knows the song.
That song.
Take on me, take on me. Yes. That's
really
their only hit in America.
Yes,
really.
But way, way too low on the list. Like that song was everywhere.
That song and that video.
Yes.
The video was basically an homage to a Ken Russell film called Altered States. That I think William Hurt, that was his first major film. And they had a scene in that movie where he was slamming himself into the walls walking down the hallway. So hence you have to see the movie to understand it, switching between a de-evolutionized version of a human and his current self. And they basically used that, and they switched it from the animated version of the singer hitting the wall to he would turn into the real version of himself, and then blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, that song and that video was so popular, that movie came and went. That video made that movie popular like 2-3 years later, and this is before the internet. So people had to go, what the fuck is that scene from? I've seen it somewhere before. Hunt it down and then turn it into a cult classic based on that video. That's how ubiquitous that fucking song and the video was.
Yeah.
All throughout, from the minute it come out till the 80s were over. Even in the 90s, you had bands like Real Big Fish still covering that song and having hits with it.
And I enjoyed their cover.
I liked third wave ska for what it was. Dumb, stupid fun.
Right.
But the two-tone scholars, the real scholars don't agree with me, so whatever.
Neat shit. 192, never heard of.
Debbie Deb, nope.
190, come on.
Leonard Cohen, Tower of Song, I'll Take Manhattan.
Yeah, like
Hallelujah. These, I think, all come out in 88 or 88, the 80s. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Never heard of 190.
I remember them being, I thought the Jungle Brothers there was a lot of producer groups, brothers in the 80s, early 90s. There was the Dust Brothers, Jungle Brothers, Chemical Brothers. They're in there somewhere.
189, Falco. There's no way she knows that.
Nope.
And it's Rock Me Amadeus because there's no other Falco songs.
Yeah, the Commissar is in town. Don't tell Turk that.
Oh. 188, never heard of him. Mechanormal, I Walk Alone.
John Anderson, I know John Anderson.
Swinging!
Sleep at the Wheel.
For the 80s, if you're going to pick a John Anderson, you pick Swinging.
Yeah, his country swing. He was the one keeping a style that had died off in the 40s and 50s and maybe the tip of the very beginning of the 60s in some deep parts of Texas. But Texas swing had died off, and I just said the name of his band. I can't remember it. What the fuck is the name of his band?
It's not in his write-up. Damn it. Just as John Anderson.
God damn it. Now I gotta look it up. Wait a minute. Maybe he wasn't in Sweethearts. I thought he was in Sweethearts of the Rodeo.
This is his brother, Don Anderson.
Oh. Is that who I'm getting him confused with?
I'm being a jackass.
Oh. Well, it could. I don't know. Could be. Anyways, it's not important.
Yeah.
Okay.
186.
I do know who he is, and it's all right.
186, never heard of him. One guy's got a nice fade. I know Gap Band.
That is a full-on eraser fade.
Yeah.
All the way to the left.
185. Okay. This is
Maybe.
Millennials. Millennials, why do you love this song?
Toto. Jess. Toto.
The Africa song.
Fucking exactly. They have first of all, Toto looked at kind of lame by, at least when you're a teenage guitar player, you're not really, especially in the 90s, Toto was definitely viewed as kind of corporate rock. But as you get older and you appreciate them for what they were and you find out they're all monster session musicians, really? I feel like, Rich, Rosanna was everywhere when we were younger. Rosanna and Hold the Line, and Africa was that's one.
Africa is that's the early 80s version of their power ballad. If they were a late 80s band, they'd have released their rock tune, their power ballad, then their next rock tune, and then they would have milked any ballads they had off the rest of the album. You know what I'm saying? That was so Africa, Rosanna come out. I think Hold the Line come out, right? I think that was their first hit. Rosanna come out, and then Africa come out. And Africa was more like the mainstream hit. If you know who liked Africa?
Your mom.
The same chicks who liked Abracadabra by Steve Miller. But they're like, his older stuff's all right, but I really like that Abracadabra song. It's okay, all right.
Which, by the way, is not on this list. I think it's a good thing. But
okay, now number 184, I'm going to give Jess a chance, but I got a lot to say about this. Okay, Jess, have you heard of this band, INXS?
I heard of, yes.
Okay. Can you name any songs by them?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, they picked Never Tear Us Apart.
I feel that is revisionist history.
But here's the deal. That is their best song ever.
I get it, but it's as far as...
And it was a hit.
Yeah, but I feel if you got to ask me to peg down one song that defines them from that decade, it's "Need You Tonight."
See, for me, this is the song that defines them from this decade. If I have them on any playlist, this song is a must. Anything else is whether I'm making a playlist I'm in the mood to hear anything else of theirs.
But to me, just "Need You Tonight" was everywhere when it came out.
A lot of NXS shit was everywhere. You don't realize how many fucking NXS songs were everywhere until you listen to them and go, Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just kept having hits from like the mid 80s into the mid 90s. I just didn't stop. But all right, we got to pick up the pace or we got to jump. I say we fucking do a jump here because there's a lot of fucking shit. She ain't
Hold on, there's a couple I want to get to in the first 10 that I want to be like, what the fuck? Okay, which by the way, Rush on the list, by the way. Spirit of Radio. Really? You're not gonna go with Tom Sawyer? But let's see. Yeah, because okay, 175. The Police. Jess, have you heard of The Police?
I've heard of The Police.
Rich,
I know that they have a song that I would know, like a very, very common song.
Yeah, because it's the one that Puffy sampled. Which, all right, Rich, you seem to like, I like The Police, but you seem to like love The Police. Like, what do you think of it? They picked When the World is Running Down.
No. I mean, if you're going to go for The Police for the 80s.
It's Every Breath You Take, right?
It has to be either that or Don't Stand So Close to Me.
Yeah.
Because Roxanne was 79.
Yep.
And I think Walking on the Moon was 79 also, which maybe you could get away with like every little thing she does is magic. King of Pain, I think, is too...
It's too deep.
It's not poppy enough. It's one of those songs that like the soccer moms in minivans skip over on the Greatest Hits CD. Whereas like I skip to King of Pain. They skip over King of Pain.
And also, can we talk about how one of the biggest bands of the first half of the decade is at 175? Like, the Police were large the few years they were active.
And to explain to people who did not live through it, the Police were just mammoth and kept going, and you just kept hearing about all these rumors about how explosive and temperamental everybody was behind the scenes, and then they just fucking like there was the blow up. Then they released their last album, and then boom, Sting had a solo career, and I don't even think a lot of people understood that they weren't listening to the Police anymore, or they just assumed, oh, Sting just changed the name of the band from the Police to Sting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like his career was just Sting was just constantly throughout the 80s. Mm-hmm. So unless they put his solo career separate on this list, the Police should definitely be higher. And also the Police should be higher than his solo career in the 80s anyways.
Yeah.
His respect, he's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because of If I Ever Lose My Faith in You, which is one of my favorite songs, but he ain't in there for that. He's in there for fucking everything he did with the two guys he can't stand.
Yeah. No, and if you read Stuart Copeland, what he even says about it, he's like, there's no animosity. Like, as people, we all love each other. He's just, as musicians, we just became very different. He's like, I'm a fucking, I'm a whirlwind, I'm a tornado, and he doesn't need that as his drummer.
No, he's become a perfectionist. Yeah. He wants every single thing to be fucking note perfect. And it's like, okay, that's cool. And when I listen to music that's like that, I'm in the mood to listen to music like that. But I also sometimes want to throw on the Stooges and listen to fucking like Raw Power.
Yeah.
Or, I'm not, I want to be your dog. Something like that. And that is out of tune, tempo all over the place, not recorded great, not note perfect. Is the antithesis of note perfect, but they both work. At least as a musician, I think so.
I'm a search and destroy guy, but I'm a basic bitch. We're going to move up to 59 on the list. Hey, before we do that, before we get into this, I would like to go over some names that are not on this list that were like fucking everywhere. Richard Marx is not on this list.
Wait, I knew one of his songs.
Oh, I bet you did.
Yeah, you have estrogen in your veins. Color me shocked. But yeah, I'm
just going to say this real quick, and a
lot of these people. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to say real quick. I am a fucking Henry Rollins fan. I'm not that huge of a Black Flag fan, the Black Flag fan. Say that 3 times quick without saying the
and getting canceled. Yeah,
bad F word. Yeah. But they have it 112. First of all, the fact they have Black Flag on this list is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they have Rise Above, and I'm just like, okay, all right, sure, okay,
right. And by the way, a lot of these artists I'm about to name, I don't carry water for a lot of these people, but I had ears and was near a radio in the 80s. Like Richard Marx, for example. Dude, he's another guy. Back half of the decade, his shit was everywhere. Starship
is synonymous with bad and 80s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like,
and
if you're talking about music that dominated the 80s.
They also had 2 of their highest charting hits in the 80s. Like, both of those songs, I remember being everywhere. We Built This City and the fucking Mannequin one. We're fucking everywhere. Rich, this is from the Come On, Are You Serious file. Huey Lewis is not on this list.
Yeah, this is hipster fucking revisionist history is what this shit is. So, all right, let's just get on with this shit because I'm already starting to like lose interest at this point because I know what's coming. It's kind of like if you lead off with your politics, you can just stop talking because I know everything you're going to say and I'm totally not interested in it.
Well, I'll just plow through the rest of the names not on this list. Rick Astley, Rick Springfield, John Mellencamp, UB40, Survivor, Jay Giles, Olivia Newton-John, John Lennon, Tom Petty, The Eurythmics, Bryan Adams, Steve Winwood, Phil Collins, Chicago, Kenny Loggins, Dire Straits, REO Speedwagon, Judas Priest, Heart, Mr. Christopher Cross, Men at Work, Barbra Streisand, Iron Maiden, Ozzy, Stevie Wonder, who had his highest charting hit in the 80s. We Are the World is not on this list, Rich. How huge, how ubiquitous was We Are the World when it was out?
Not only that, but I mean, if you really want to get down to it, you could probably even go with the one that came out of Europe. I can't remember what that one was. That was even probably, I think, bigger worldwide.
The Christmas one. Yeah, Band-Aid. The one that we're going to hear fucking for the next month. Yeah.
I think that was a larger seller worldwide. Maybe not in America, but I mean, one of those two had to be. The 80s, oh God, you remember the hair metal one? We watched it on one of the shows back in the day, and we fucking fell the fuck out, man. Even this was during the stoic period for Aaron, and even he was cracking up at this shit. I think it was for fucking rockers who were losing their hearing. And it's all fucking like Nitro and fucking like, oh my God, I can't even remember like Danger, like bands. It's like, oh Jesus, like bands that Todd wouldn't even listen to that were hair metal. You know what I'm saying?
All I gotta say about We Are the World is it came out in 1985 and had Michael Jackson on it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so get back to the list. Bruce Springsteen. Have you heard of this man, Jess?
I have, yes.
They picked this song Atlantic City from the album Nebraska. Like, Born in the USA, right? It's dumb.
For his 80s output, much as I like Springsteen, and Born in the USA was like one of the first few albums I bought. And I don't, it hasn't held up well. Wow, they really went nuts. He really went nuts. His band really went nuts with the synthesizers and shit in the 80s. Yeah, I'd say, yeah, Born in the USA is probably the most.
Or Glory Days.
See, the reason I don't say Glory Days is because Glory Days are supposed to be a throwback to like the 60s as it was in sound. Born in the USA sounds like the 80s.
Yeah, I'll give it that. Yeah, especially because of the synth intro.
Yeah.
Moving up to number 50, like, just saw this band, love the song, but Metallica Master of Puppets, that song was nowhere in the 80s. Your metal friends knew that. My cousins like had that. Like, yeah, Master of Puppets was not no.
The kid that wasn't visibly retarded but rode the short bus, and he went to the fucking classroom at the end of that weird hallway, and you never saw him. You just saw him get on and off the short bus that had a leather jacket or like a jean jacket with a metal up your ass patch on the back. That's the one dude in your school who knew fucking Metallica back then. Okay, don't let people bullshit you. It wasn't like whole schools were full of fucking metalheads rocking Metallica t-shirts in 1986. That's not how the fuck it was. In fact, I'd say the only fucking song Metallica got radio play with in the 80s was one.
Yeah. And yeah, if you saw someone with a Metallica t-shirt in the 80s, you like walked on the other side of the street.
Or you were like, dude, because it's
right.
like, you know who Metallica, yeah, what's your favorite? Oh, this is my favorite. Oh, yes. And the next thing you know, because it was back then, that's how you made friends.
But yeah, like, I get it. You saw Stranger Things, but yeah, like, revisionist history. 40, I just want to say, I'll be real quick about it. 49, Chaka Khan. Come on, it should be I Feel For You, not whatever this song is I've never heard of. Let's see here. Yeah, okay, 47.
Hold on.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Jess.
Yes.
Have you heard of the Beastie Boys?
You heard of, yes. Are they the party people?
There you go, Rich. She just made the point before you even had to make it.
Yeah. It just hurts me that that my kin don't. Yeah, I heard other Beastie Boys. Are they the party people? That hurt me a lot. Because, like, this is one of Beastie Boys. They're one of my bands that, like, people, if you really know me, you know I really love the Beastie Boys.
Oh, I really
B-Boy Bouillonnais. Okay, first of all, yes, Paul's Boutique is the artistically superior album of the two that were released in the 80s by them. But if I say Beastie Boys 80s to anybody but a Beastie Boys fan, they're going to say something off of License to Ill.
They're going to say,
they're most likely going to say the party people, the party song. Yes. So this is complete. This whole list, complete revisionist history.
Yeah, like if you were conscious in the 80s and you just paid attention to the mainstream, the Beastie Boys came out with Fight for Your Right, and then you didn't hear from them again until Sabotage came out.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that was in the 90s.
Maybe if you were an avid MTV watcher, you remember the month or two they were pushing this video for Hey Ladies in 1989. Maybe. That's it. That's the extent of the Beastie Boys fucking exposure to the top 40 in the 80s. Yeah. But sure.
All right, let's jump ahead to 41. Jess, a little band out of Ireland called U2. Have you heard of them?
Yes.
The live version of their song Bad. Really, U2 in the 80s, this is what you pick as their defining song. Never mind you have, I don't know, their entire catalog of all of their hits to choose from, because that's when they were huge.
Yeah. I mean, dude, they're pulling it from a live album, and they're not even pulling it from Rattle and Hum.
Exactly.
Whatever. And I get it. The fucking critics and the fans aren't big fans of Rattle and Hum, so that gets shit on, blah, 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 blah. But still, it's like, let's not act like Rattle and Hum wasn't huge compared to Wide Awake in America. Gee, did they release a concert/documentary film about that concert in theaters? I don't think so.
No,
I'm really tired. You know what this list does to me? I'm tired of fucking people who weren't alive. And not only not alive, but just have no connection whatsoever to previous time periods, telling people like me who were there and lived through it what shit was really like. And that's all this is. Dude, could you imagine Gen Z doing this to millennials in 10 years? Telling them what the best Panic at the Disco song was, or whatever fucking white belt fucking emo band what their best song was? Or how they just flat out sucked and were never any good. Dude, there'd be blood running. There'd be calls for blood to run in the streets online.
Yeah.
This is shitting all over fucking basically boomers, which it really is, and it's shitting all over Gen X. But please continue to wallow in your ignorance, millennials. It's amusing at this point.
Yeah. 39. Jess, have you heard of The Clash?
Heard of, yes.
Can you name a Clash song?
No.
The Spanish Bombs. Come on. Again, this is another one like about Rock the Casbah.
Oh, that was them?
Didn't Should I Stay or Should I Go come out in the 80s?
Yep.
Come on. It's all right.
Yeah, God.
All right, 35. One Mr. David Jones. Rest of the world knew him as David Bowie. I know 80s Bowie, not the greatest, but if you're picking a song that defines 80s Bowie, Ashes to Ashes. Now, to be fair, he makes an appearance with Queen with Under Pressure way down near 200, which that's another conversation. But I mean, it should be Let's Dance, right? If we're going with 80s Bowie,
Maybe Modern Love.
I hate saying that, but
no. Here's
what about
the thing.
China Girl?
Here's the thing. I don't give a fuck about that album except for Stevie Ray Vaughan was on it. That's it. I'm not a huge Bowie fan, but I'm a big enough Bowie fan. But I'm also a very weird Bowie fan because I like his stuff in the '90s with Trent Reznor. So there you go.
Yeah,
and I like some Tin Machine because I like Reeves Gabriel, the guitar player in that band. So there you go. If I was going to say '80s Bowie, I would say Modern Love or Let's Dance. And with Let's Dance being the popular choice, Modern Love being more of the what I would think would be the critics' musician choice. Whatever.
All right. 28. Talking Heads. Have you heard of this band, Jess?
Heard of them.
Can you name a Talking Heads song?
No.
Rolling Stone picked This Must Be the Place. Again, Rich, this is really? This is what you go with?
At least it's a song that was known. Like, this was a single. I remember this being on the radio. I remember hearing it. Some of these picks that they've gone for, these more obscure ones, I'm like, this wasn't even a single, I don't think.
But it's Burning Down the House or it's and then She Was, right? Like those songs were.
Yes.
There's you listen to right classic rock stations, they're still everywhere.
Well, you gave me the heads up that the Talking Heads were on this list pretty high up, but the song was like booty, and so I was thinking maybe there was going to be like Wildlife, or oh shit, like and then She Was something like that, like like one of those. But This Must Be the Place, like.
Yeah, Wildlife. Okay. Yeah, for '80s. Yeah, dude, wasn't that the video with the big square suit, or was that
Wildlife? Was the video with John Goodman from the? It was from a movie. I can't remember the name of the movie, but he was in it, and Melanie Griffith was in it. Shit, I can't remember the name of the movie. It might have been Wildlife.
27. No chance Jess knows this, but Rich, Big Daddy Kane. That's not even his biggest song. Ain't No Half Steppin'.
Yeah, but you go to the Hood. That's the one the Hood knows. That's the one the Hood's going to fucking shout out. That's for real.
All right.
Like, that still gets no half stepping. You half stepping, motherfucker. Like, that still gets used to this day. So
fair enough.
That's, yeah.
25, Jess, have you heard of Depeche Mode?
Yes, Enjoy the Silence.
There you go. And, okay, Rich, didn't Violator come out in 89?
Yeah.
Yeah, what? They just can't get enough. Some song from 1982. Violator came out in 1988. Violator is like their greatest hits compilation. Like every song that came off that album was a fucking hit.
Just Can't Get Enough is like their early hit. The people who like first album Ministry like that song better than any of the late 80s Depeche Mode. So there you go. If you know people who listen to first album Ministry, you know the people I'm talking about.
I mean, like, Enjoy the Silence. Fucking, really?
Personal Jesus.
Yeah. Like, just a policy of truth. Anyway. All right, 22. This is to decide for me and Rich. For the Pet Shop Boys, this is what you pick? Some song they did with Dusty Springfield?
Okay, can we stop with this bullshit? The only thing the Pet Shop Boys did in the 80s that anyone gave a fuck about in like the top like 40 was it West End Girls?
West End Girls. Well, too, they had remember they did You're Always on My Mind. They redid the Willie Nelson song.
A bunch of people did it in the 80s. I must have blocked that out.
And you didn't go to as many roller rinks as me, apparently.
Not at that point. By 87? Oh yeah, I was done with that shit.
Yeah. 20, New Order. Jess, have you heard of them?
I have not.
Rich, didn't come out in 87? The one with Bizarre Love Triangle?
Feel?
Yeah. And
I'm thinking
and Blue Monday. Well, yeah, same album.
Yeah, that's if I think of New Order, that's what I think of, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need to talk about them, but let's just Grace Jones.
At 19, no. Grace Jones should be Grace Jones should be on this list.
Susie and the Banshees, listen, very influential in certain music circles. Her influence and her band's influence reached out from the usual suspects and even found itself creeping into other styles of music that you wouldn't have thought. However, no, she was not dominating the charts in the 80s.
No, that was like
enough to be number
music.
18.
Yeah.
And her biggest hit didn't happen until 91 with Kiss Them For Me.
Right.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Introducing Carvana Value Tracker, where you can track your car's value over time and learn what's driving it. It might make you excited.
Whoa, didn't know my car was valued this high.
It might make you nervous.
Uh-oh, market's flooded. My car's value just dipped 2.3%.
It might make you optimistic.
Our low mileage is paying off. Our value's up.
And it might make you realistic.
Car prices haven't gone up in a couple weeks. Maybe it's time to sell.
But it will definitely make you an expert on your car's value. Carvana Value Tracker. Visit Carvana.com to start tracking your car's value today.
Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Introducing Carvana Value Tracker, where you can track your car's value over time and learn what's driving it. It might make you excited.
Whoa, didn't know my car was valued this high.
It might make you nervous.
Uh-oh, market's flooded. My car's value just dipped 2.3%.
It might make you optimistic.
Our low mileage is paying off. Our value's up.
And it might make you realistic.
Car prices haven't gone up in a couple weeks. Maybe it's time to sell.
But it will definitely make you an expert on your car's value. Carvana Value Tracker. Visit Carvana.com to start tracking your car's value today.
Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
17. Jess, have you heard of a band called R.E.M.?
Yes, Losing My Religion.
Little upstart band out of Georgia. Well, yeah, that's 91. Most of their catalog is in, and they picked a song called "Sitting Still" from 1983. How about "Stand"? How about "Orange Crush"? Yeah, "The One I Love."
End of the world as we know it.
Yeah,
or as you know it. Yeah, you said "Orange Crush." I know there's a couple more in there.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I forget their more artsy fartsy college radio friendly stuff in the 80s. But I think Radio Free Europe, that could be a legit one, because that crossed over and actually got some fucking like mainstream heat, but it was also a indie alternative critical darling.
Yeah.
So
14. Run DMC.
Okay, hold on. I got a beef on number 16.
All right, okay. I was going to bring it up, but all right,
Eric B.
go
and
ahead.
Rakim, I think first of all, Eric B. and Rakim, I think if it wasn't for them, rap would not have matured as fast as it did. If you go back and listen to Rakim's flow off of their first album, Paid in Full, he's one of the first dudes to not do the that herky-jerky emphasis on every fucking syllable type rapping, and he did more of the laid back smooth shit that paved the road, that made the road for guys like Snoop.
Oh, was he the first guy who was not here to say?
Yes. Yeah. He was very much and he was also the first one to bring up spirituality outside of Jesus, God. He was interjecting he is an MC's MC. In my opinion, Rakim is the all-around greatest MC to live. because lyrically, flow-wise, his rhyme patterns, all of it. You literally look at hip-hop and go before Rakim and after Rakim. And that's the same criteria I use for guitar players or any other musician. And for them to pick I Know You Got Soul, Don't Sweat the Technique, Paid in Full, those I would pick over I Know You Got Soul. But that's just me. But I'm surprised. And having said all that about Eric B. and Rakim, no way do they need to be sniffing the top 50.
Right?
Of the 80s, the top fucking 150, they don't need to be sniffing.
Never even heard of them till the 90s.
They were influential, and they were known in certain circles. But if you weren't in the hood or you weren't plugged into that music, you didn't know who the fuck they were. I guess if you had an ear for music, you would be like, oh, I heard that one song in Colors because they were on the Colors soundtrack. That's it. That's as close to like mainstream success that I really think Eric B. and Rakim had in the 80s. Outside of like the, urban music charts, whatever they called them back then.
Right.
But, okay. 15 I agree with. I don't agree with Replacement.
Right. No,
Sade.
That song was...
Smooth Operator. Everywhere.
Yeah.
For years. That song came out in 84 and it was still being played as if it was a fucking top 25, top 40 hit 2 years later in 1986. I clearly remember that.
Oh, anywhere you could buy a fine pair of slacks, you could hear that song.
Okay, so now we're back to 14. Jess has heard of Run DMC, right?
I know one of their songs. I know every word.
What song?
Christmas in Hollis.
It's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. Mom cooking chicken and collard greens.
Probably a better choice than Sucker MCs.
Sucker MCs. Yeah, no, it's got to be
Tricky.
Maybe it's Tricky.
Walk This Way.
Peter Piper.
My Adidas.
My Adidas for sure. If you want to get like Walk This Way being a cover, I say disallowed it, but like you go like even Raising Hell, Kings of Rock, dude, go back and listen to a lot of the fucking rap rock, especially Kid Rock's early output, mostly before Devil Without a Cause, but even on some of. First of all, Devil Without a Cause is basically almost a complete ripoff of Tough as Leather. So go back and listen to those two songs next to each other, and you're like, what the fuck? But I mean, Run DMC, that guitar with the rap, that influenced so many people beyond just that time in the 80s, and that's not represented in Sucker MCs, not like it was in their other songs. So,
Sucker MCs wasn't fucking played all the time.
And that's the other thing. Yep.
13, I think Jess is going to prove my point. Jess, do you know who The Cure is?
Yes.
Can you name a Cure song?
Friday, I'm in Love.
Okay, not proving my point, but you know who The Cure is.
That is an 80s Cure song. It's 1989.
And Friday I'm in Love? No, I feel that came out like when I was in middle school, which would have been in the 90s. Like I remember like watching the video on MTV. And
sure?
Shit.
Or is this one of those things that it got re-released a few times? No, you're right, 92.
Yeah, but
what am I thinking from the 80s?
But if I'm from the 80s, if I'm picking a Cure song just based on remembering where it was all the time, it's fucking Love Song. Dude, that song was fucking everywhere. That song was played on radio stations my mom listened to. Like when I was a teenager and found out what The Cure was, like, oh shit, that's who this is. I never knew.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And also it's like The Cure is one of those bands that like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about their radio hits? Because that's completely different from their core fan base. Their core fan base, I'm sure they love the radio hits, but they're probably like, I could go without ever hearing them again.
And yeah, Just Like Heaven was not a radio hit. Just Like Heaven was like your cousin who was in college. That was like The Cure. That was like that level of deepness as far as my opinion.
Okay, Jess, number 12, NWA.
No.
What?
That's surprising. There was a movie.
You don't know who Fuck the Police, NWA? The movie Straight Outta Compton, NWA?
No. I told you I'm going to hurt your feelings.
Wow. That's just shocking. How do you not run it?
Your Caucasian is showing.
She married in. She's one of us by injection. She's not natural. She's not real. Like, yeah, so. Like It's okay. She can be white. But it's just like,
but Rich,
for you to have not heard of NWA is like a 17-year-old that told the 17-year-old told me, who are the Beatles? What are they?
Right.
And I'm just going, how the fuck have you not heard of the Beatles?
Rich, though, let's talk about this, though.
Their songs? Looking them up.
At 12? No way. No way. Too high.
This is only looking back, hindsight being what it is, and trying to fit history into how you feel about that decade now. And yeah, no, it's.
If you look into the history of radio and television and the explicit lyrics label, there is no way this was ever played on radio.
Yeah. Express Yourself was their it was MTV hit. It wasn't even a radio hit. Okay.
11, no way. Janet Jackson, Nasty at 11. I do not. There's. Again, this is another artist. You have the entire decade because that's where all her hits were.
Yeah, but you got to pick from either Control or Rhythm Nation. Janet Jackson's another one of those artists. It's like, if you really know me, you really know I like a certain era of Janet Jackson. Like she's got a 10, I think from like 96 or 2000, from 86 to 96 to maybe 97. But what else are you going to put in there? That's the Way Love Goes. That's a 90s song. Rhythm Nation. It was a big hit, but it wasn't her biggest hit.
No, I feel there's songs off of Rhythm. Hold on, let's look up the track listing for Rhythm Nation.
Like, I listened to enough of her fucking shit where I should be able to remember all her 80s hits.
No, you were such a fucking Janet Jackson booster.
Dude, she was like one of my first crushes when I was a little kid because I saw her on, how am I forgetting Good Times?
Oh, yeah, fuck you. Escapade and Miss You Much are on this album. I would pick both of those over Nasty.
Okay, so...
Especially
Escapade,
as far as how much they were played.
Here.
Or at least Miss You Much. Oh, Jesus Christ, that song was played so much.
I think her best album is Rhythm Nation 1814. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
but
I'm saying that's on.
Control's got a lot of hits.
Yeah, but...
When I Think of You, big hit. Let's Wait a While. Well, okay, The Pleasure Principle... When I Think of You, what have you... Okay, first of all, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
That's it. We're done. Eddie Murphy did what? 1/5 of his show Raw about that fucking song?
Yeah.
Basically bass, and it became an instant classic? That's her... To me, that's the definitive Janet Jackson 80s song.
Oh, no.
What have you done for me lately? I forgot about that one.
That was on the roller rink. That was definitely in the rotation
Hey,
there.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, because you know I'm a nasty motherfucker. I know it's mostly piss. I don't give a fuck. Come see.
I was about to come around to your way of thinking with the choice of song because, like, yeah, her whole catchphrase comes from that song.
Yep.
It's Janet or Miss Jackson if you're nasty. All right, start top 10. First of all, no way this band should be near the top 10. The Smiths.
Okay, I'm starting to think we're showing a very American bias here. I think if you go outside of America, the Smiths need to be... you can make an argument, not maybe a good one, but you could make an argument for them to be in the top 10.
Okay, fine. There's a Light That Never Goes Out. No way. This should be How Soon Is Now. Yeah.
Period, end of story. Because that was a hit all over the fucking place.
Yes. We said it together, unprompted. That's how much we agree on that. Here we go. Number 9, Kate Bush, Running Up That Hill. And go, Rich. Just go into your rant from earlier.
I can't even remember. Kate Bush was not this big in the 80s, and I have nothing against Kate Bush at all, whatsoever. Like, I barely knew this song, and I knew this as being her from that time period, and I knew the song better from the Placebo cover from like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Kate Bush started getting her comeuppance when alternative, quote-unquote, alternative music started becoming a thing. That's where she started bubbling up. Like, people, like, I didn't hear of her like the 90s. She was not all over the radio in the 80s. I get that the people who made this list saw Stranger Things and think this song is cool, but that's, like, Rich, you said, this is revisionist history. No.
It is absolutely revisionist history.
It is not the 9th biggest song of the 80s. No fucking way. It's not even the 99th biggest song of the 80s. It's not even the 199th biggest song of the 80s. Like, It shouldn't even be on this list.
And to be fair, like, even though the bulk of her material recorded in the 80s, I guess, is considered her best, I think she got her most exposure after the 90s started. Because that's when she started getting spin, because MTV introduced 120 minutes. They started doing what they call in radio, they call day parting, which is basically changing the format a little bit from what your format is during the day at night. Am I describing that right, Chris, or am I mangling that definition?
Like at night, the audience skewed younger. They'd play like shit younger people would be into.
More, yes. Like here in Detroit, if you listen to Riff back in the day, in the 90s, they played more 80s, late 70s music. Later at night, after the afternoon drive, they played a lot more of the late 80s, early 90s music.
During the day, they played shit for their dad. At night, they played shit for you.
Shit for you, yeah. And like Kate Bush, kind of after the B-52s and kind of that like alternative bubble started to build into the 90s. That's when I started hearing about Kate Bush more. I started hearing her on radio. I heard her on 89X. First time I heard Kate Bush on the radio was on 89X. Yep. And if we're going by the math, that's at least 90 or 91? I think it was 91. So, yeah. There you go. Do the math, folks.
8, Duran Duran. First of all, this is another one that if the one song rule didn't apply, there would be many.
Yeah.
And Hungry Like the Wolf, I feel like the Reflex might be a better representation as far as stuff that was played that you heard all the time. But I mean, I guess I can be okay with Hungry Like the Wolf.
It was either that or Rio.
Yeah, that's right. I tried to block that one out. I never was a fan of that song. But
I will say this. My sister never listens to this podcast. I'm not even sure she's aware of it. But growing up, I used to just give her shit mercilessly because of Duran Duran. And I have to say this. Here's my public apology, Brenda. I am sorry. At least the bass player in that band is a lot better musician than I ever gave him credit for back in the day. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Here we go. Here comes some bullshit. Number 7,
the Go-Go's.
Our Lips Are Sealed. No way.
Say, have you heard of the Go-Go's, Jess?
I know Our Lips Are Sealed.
There you go.
Well, I guess you're making our point for maybe revisionist history, but if you're going by airplay, we got the beat. That's the Go-Go song that was fucking everywhere. Or Vacation. Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
I know that one too. It was from a Rugrats movie.
Yeah, Our Lips Are Sealed was like shit that that was considered like a deep track. If there's like a 2 for Tuesday, you got to hear Our Lips Are Sealed. It wasn't always played. I heard Our Lips Are Sealed more in the 90s than I did in the 80s.
Yeah, which might have something to do with it being placed where it's at. All right, now this one, I can't really argue with her placement in the top 10. It's Whitney Houston.
Yes, the back half of the decade, just huge.
Do you know Whitney Houston?
Yes.
Okay, but you don't know her husband, Bobby Brown. See, this is...
I feel we're in an area she's going to know the rest of it.
Well, okay. Well, at least heard of him, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay, now the song they picked was How Will I Know?
Really?
Okay, but hold on. Huge hit for her. Really introduced her to a crossover audience. Gave her crossover audience. But let's be honest. Whitney Houston, in the 90s, you only think of one song, I Will Always Love You. Whitney Houston, in the 80s... I believe the children are future.
I hate what that song's done to our society, but yeah, it could be that song. Or to
The Greatest Love of All.
I'd feel she had other songs off this album that were played more, like So Emotional, or what was the fucking other one?
Saving all my love for you.
No, and there's the other one that fucking everyone loves at weddings now, the I Want to Dance with Somebody. I feel that was played more than... I feel How Will I Know came out, and yeah, it was a hit, but I don't feel it was, like, as big as a lot of the other songs we named.
See, How Will I Know is what got my grandmother to buy a Whitney Houston album, and my mother to buy a Whitney Houston album, and then my great-grandmother to buy a Whitney Houston album. So, but what sealed the deal was Greatest Love of All. At that point, between that song and when she dropped I Will Always Love You... all the women in my family, she's the greatest singer of her generation. Done. Over. You couldn't talk it. You couldn't name anybody else. So that's why I'm saying it. So that's I'm clearly admitting my bias here.
I still think The Greatest Love of All has been put that. Put that and social media up there with one of the things that's going to undo our society.
Okay, number 5, Jess. Public Enemy.
Heard of them.
Can you take a stab at any of their songs?
I am drawing. I have. I mean, if you said something, I might know it, but I cannot just pull one out of thin air.
All right. First of all, they picked Bring the Noise, which...
Really? Yeah. Fight the Power?
I'm thinking... Okay, well, hold on. First of all, I don't think anyone would have picked Bring the Noise if it wasn't for the fact that it was re-released as a cover / re-recording with Anthrax.
First rap rock song?
In 91. Oh. Chili Peppers and Faith No More and probably Mr. Bungle got something to say about that. And then Jimi Hendrix is going to be like, but crosstown traffic. But we already had that conversation. Yeah. But
Epic and
here's the argument against. I agree with you because technically, Fight the Power was released in 1989 on the Do the Right Thing soundtrack, but it did not get released until Fear of a Black Planet come out, which didn't come out until 1990. They didn't release it on their own album, so they might be considering Fight the Power as a 1990 song, which still, why is Bring the Noise the one they picked?
But
Night of the Living Bassheads had more fucking MTV play. I forget, I should know this, but the one that starts off, I got a letter from the government today, said they were suckers. That one got a ton of MTV play.
What about 911?
That's that come out with Fear of a Black Planet. That come out summer 1990.
Well, look, do you think Public Enemy had the 5th biggest song of the 80s, Rich?
No. Public Enemy didn't have the 5th biggest career of the 80s. They have the 5th biggest song of the 80s. That's what we're getting.
Like, number 4 is probably like the only... No, it could probably be higher. But as far as song picked to represent artists for the decade, I agree with. You ever heard of a guy named Michael Jackson, Jess?
Rings a bell. Yeah.
Billie Jean, which for represent the 80s, yes. Like, cause he did the moonwalk, he had the glove, he had the sidewalk that lit up.
Okay.
I can't really argue with Billie Jean, but they could have done Billie Jean or they could have done Beat It, and I think either one would have been acceptable.
Or Thriller.
The only reason I say not Thriller is because Thriller wasn't even his biggest excess moment. Because you got to remember, like, when Bad come out, dude, that was, I think, didn't Martin Scorsese direct that fucking goddamn video?
He did.
And it had, like, Wesley Snipes in it and shit. I mean, like, there's a lot more 80s excess that it's more, what do you call it, Michael Jackson-esque than Thriller. But Thriller was, like, the first big time it was like, oh, shit, Michael Jackson's going to go way over the fucking top. And then it just became expected. Because every time he released an album, there had to be a 10 to 15-minute video for a 3.5-minute song.
Mm-hmm.
And why did that you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It just... Anything off of any of the hits off of Thriller you could basically put on there. And I think you could make an argument that that's representative of Michael Jackson in the 80s. And you could even probably throw Bad on there.
Yeah.
And that would... I could say that's representative of him.
And I still love both those albums. I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, but by the way,
are you all about the Quincy Jones production, or you just love like the music and everything all together?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, no, I think Thriller's production is a fucking... If you've ever heard how he spent a week mixing each song on Thriller, that's fucking sweet. And I love the picture they use with Mike in this article too, by the way. He's still black. He's got his original nose.
Got that bell pepper nose.
Yeah. Like, this has got to be like 83-ish, 84. Like,
hey, Mike, as a white boy who grew up with a white boy version of that nose, I feel your pain, man. But actually, I still ain't getting it sliced up. That's for damn sure.
Or no, this has got to be pre-Thriller because he had the nose job on Thriller.
Oh, this is
like off the wall right before.
Yeah.
This is like between Off the Wall and Thriller because Thriller because I had the picture disc. He had the new nose on Thriller.
Yeah, this motherfucker, Michael Jackson during Off the Wall. If he took a deep breath through his nose in a small room, everybody else in that room would be in deep trouble. So yeah.
Which, by the way, very underrated Michael Jackson now. Like, everyone talks about Thriller. Fucking go. If you like 70s R&B, go listen to Off the Wall. Just number 3. This is not the third biggest song of the 80s. Jess, have you heard of Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5? Here we go. The Message. Like, this isn't supposed to be like the top 200 hip-hop songs of all time. This is it's supposed to be like the top 200 80s songs. Like, this is not the third biggest song of the 80s. It's not. This is millennials trying to rewrite history. Exactly. There's nothing else to say about it.
I wouldn't be shocked if this is like, I could see this getting fucking rubber stamped from a bunch of fucking Gen Xers if there are any fucking working in any positions of note at Rolling Stone still. This reeks of that type of, this is what we wish we would have listened to back then because this is what cool people were listening to, but we weren't cool. But we really wish we were cool.
I didn't hear The Message till I was in high school.
No, I heard it. I heard it in the 80s. And it was a hit. There was a Saturday Night Live skit where was it Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo? It started off, they were in the bathroom stalls, and you just see their feet, and you hear them start singing Under the Boardwalk. And then the little nerdy white guy from that period of time with the glasses who was in the
Tim Kazurinsky?
Yes, thank you. He was in the
Why do I know that?
Police Academy movies also. He comes in and he's like, don't push me because I'm close to, and he's rapping, and that's the whole joke is the nerdy white guy's rapping. The black guy and the young hip white guy, which Joe Piscopo, believe it or not, was at one point in America, were singing Under the Boardwalk. So, yeah, I mean, it did have some cultural fucking traction. But, no, nowhere near to be the top fucking 100 of this list.
All right. Number 2.
And the only way you can put it in the top 200 is if you're arguing for influence.
Jess, if you're number 2, young ingenue from the Detroit area. Have you heard of a woman named Madonna?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. What would you pick? Like, if Madonna in the 80s, what would you pick?
Either Like a Virgin or Like a Prayer.
God damn it, she said Like a Prayer. Well, that just proves our point that people younger than us did this. But you're also proving the point that Rich and I now want to make. Like, the first one you said is what I think. Like, that, when you think Madonna in the 80s, you think, like, the Material Girl era. Like, you think Material Girl. You think Crazy for You. You think Like a Virgin. You think fucking Holiday even. Like, to me, Like a Prayer was like, when I heard, like, one-off hits at the end of the decade, I don't feel Like a Prayer was as huge as some of the hits she had in the 80s or was going to have in the future.
I feel like I saw it on, like, VH1 a lot.
The only thing I remember about Like a Prayer is religious groups had their fucking undergarments in a twist because there was, like, religious imagery in the video.
Yeah, she cast whoever cast a black actor basically as a stand-in for Jesus coming off the cross, and because she kissed Jesus's feet and Jesus was a black man and she was dancing in the field and they were burning crosses, and she was doing a Pepsi commercial and Pepsi was like, no, we can't have that because you can't make Jesus black and you can't have burning crosses. I mean, look, Like a Prayer was Madonna probably warming up to her most fucking controversial, which would, to me, the epitome of Madonna's career is Justify Your Love. But that's a 90s song. But the reason I say that is because it's a song not written by her. It's written by Lenny Kravitz. It's a song completely built on parts of music sampled from other people. And it's all sizzle and no steak. It's the promise of, ooh, something taboo, and it's just her talking over a fucking drum beat. I mean, it's like, to me, I'm like, that's Madonna. Madonna is more mid, as the kids would say, to garbage than she is hitting for average in my book.
For my money, give me Express Yourself or Vogue. But, it's where our each different shows.
Well, for me, it's like, I think there's like 3 Madonna songs I could get with, and I'm trying to think. Bad Girl, that's like a 93, 92 song.
Not Bad Girl. I was in high school. That was like senior year.
Really? So that was 95?
Yeah, that was pre-music, post Justify My Love. Whatever album that was.
Because
that was the one with the Used to Be My Playground album. That's the one.
Oh man, that came out in '92. It come off of Erotica album. Oh. And the only reason I thought it came out in '92 is because of who directed it. Oh shit, brain fart. God damn it. Fight Club home. David Fincher. There we go. Jesus. And it was like, I remember seeing this video, and then I think I saw Aliens 3 or Alien 3 that he directed, and I was like, why does this look like a Madonna video? Oh, same guy. Okay, makes sense now.
All right, let's get on to number one. Gentleman from Minneapolis, Jess, maybe you've heard of him. His name is Prince.
I have, yes.
What do you think of
what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Song from the 80s, yes. Do you think of when you think of Prince?
I can't think of the name. Maybe I'm Just Like My Father.
Thank you. When Doves Cry. Yes.
Yeah.
That is what this song should be. They chose Kiss. It wasn't even a hit for him. It was a hit for Tom Jones. Kiss was like one of those songs that came up later. Like, Kiss was not all over the radio. In the 80s, it was all about fucking Purple Rain. And everything from that album. Like,
Kiss, I mean, I remembered it was a hit. My mom liked it. All her friends liked it. So that's the type of fucking people that this song was resonating with. And I guess I could see it, but I think it's a very fucking short-sighted pick because it's like, what are you going off of? Because it's not his most influential song. It's not even off his most influential album from that decade. I would say Purple Rain or 1999 is the most influential records he released that decade, right?
Yeah. Like 1990. Jesus Christ, there's like 4 singles off of that you could put in this place.
Yeah, and then you have Purple Rain, Let's Go Crazy, When Doves Cry.
Yeah. No.
And I think When Doves Cry is honestly more representative of Prince in the 80s because he did what Prince did in the 80s that no one else was doing, which was take some very weird chances, like deleting the entire bass track from When Doves Cry. There was no R&B songs released around that time period that had no bass whatsoever on it. But Prince put one out, and it became a huge hit.
This bass player must have loved playing that song every night. All right, cool, I'm going to go take a piss.
I'm sure the live version was changed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of like, Queen with We Will Rock You, but
yeah.
That's a list, all right. And that list is straight booty, as my man fucking Bernie Mac used to say. Yeah, that list is bullshit.
That list, if you were conscious in the 80s, you're just looking at this list and going, what are you talking about? Like, this is, like you said it, Rich, this is the list of we wish this is what people listen to, and we wish these were the biggest songs of the 80s. This is a wish list. It's Christmas time, right? Everyone's making their Christmas list. That's what Rolling Stone put out. We wish these were the 200 best songs of the 80s.
Pretty much. And it's like, oh, okay. That's not realistic. It's not reality. But you know what? You have a whole bunch of people sitting around taking in your content who will take your word as the word of God. And the irony is, it's easier than ever to look it up and disprove it, but people won't.
There you go. Clouds have been officially yelled at for another week. We got anything else?
Not unless you want to talk about your poop Pringle can.
I just saw the headline was a guy got busted for he pooped in a Pringles can, threw it in a parking lot, and his excuse was, oh, no, I drive a lot, and I do that, and that's just where I threw it. And then the parking lot he threw it in just happened to be an opponent. He's a lawyer. He's an opponent he's going to be facing in court in like 15 minutes. We talk about a lot of heavy shit. I send you guys all kinds of stories.
Fuck it. I want to talk about it because it's going on in Ireland, and I don't even want to. I don't even want to get into the fucking inner workings of Irish politics because I'm gonna be honest with you. One, I don't know them. So why the fuck would I sit here and act like I do and try to tell you some shit that I don't know what the fuck is going on? But I can tell you this, there's protests going on that led to, I guess this is now not mostly peaceful rioting, even though it looks like the mostly peaceful rioting we saw in 2020 here in America. But it's because immigrants that have been allowed into the country, one of them went on a fucking knife attack and stabbed up a bunch of children and women and killed a couple. And the media and everybody over there, for whatever reason in Ireland, they handled it with kid gloves. They wouldn't. Basically, if you read the articles, it was a person stabbed some young people, or there was an unfortunate incident between a person, a knife, and some young people. Like, just so fucking vague, and people are sick of it because they're like, this is bullshit. You can't even fucking say that they're an immigrant because that's racist. And also, you're not doing anything about this. So the Irish, who, by the way, you guys want to take a guess what the racial makeup of Ireland is? Take a wild fucking guess.
White with its side of white?
Okay, well, first of all, there's like, I believe, like around 7 million people on that fucking island. There ain't a lot. And they have brought in over 150,000 to 200,000 immigrants to put on that island in the last 5 to 10 years. That's a huge influx. Think about that as percentage, and think about that influx being injected into American cities. So, like I said, I don't know the politics behind it, but I do know how the idiots in the media reacted to it. Like the douchebag on fucking Twitter or X who had this to say on the 28th of May in 2020, I saw some white folk on Facebook criticizing the ongoing riots in the U.S. relating to the murder of George Floyd by police, saying they should be peaceful. Yes, in an ideal world, but in an ideal world, a racist police force wouldn't murder unarmed black people with alarming frequency. Okay, whatever. Pretty fucking standard galaxy brain take back then. Oh, well, this was the other day. Same gentleman on Twitter /X. Today there was a tragedy which involved the stabbing of children in Dublin City. Sick and inexcusable. That doesn't excuse the scenes coming out of Dublin tonight. Absolute feral animals who don't give a single fuck about the victims, just looking for any excuse to loot and burn. You said that about the Summer of Love. Even if it wasn't black people doing the looting and burning, you were called racist because you were assumed to have been referring only to black people. This man is literally referring to white, male, Irish people.
Double standard much?
I just, no one cares.
Right.
You'll care one day.
By the way,
when the shit gets provoked to people are dying in the streets over this shit, and it's people who otherwise would have never had a beef with each other, it'll be too late, but you can all sit there in your fucking dumbfounded silence then. I don't want to hear about it then. I don't want to hear about gun control. I don't want to hear about knife control. I don't want to hear about shit. Y'all ain't doing a goddamn thing, and you haven't done a goddamn thing to stop this shit. You've just stoked the fucking fires of this bullshit to the point where literally a country of 98% white people, it's racist when white people protest. Sure.
Yeah, this is going to end well. By the way, I put the numbers that you gave in perspective for the United States. Based on our population, that would be like 9.8 million people.
How many is New York City, Chicago, all these other fucking cities? How many are they shitting about? How many are they shitting themselves about?
New York City's about 10 million people. The population of the state we live in, about 10 million people.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, what's the number of fucking immigrants getting sent to these sanctuary cities that weren't really sanctuary cities that they're bitching about? Yeah. It ain't nowhere near
not
that
10
number.
million. Yeah, no, it's like the same number that you were saying for Ireland.
Like literally, Chicago was bitching about 500 people dropped off in a fucking neighborhood. 500 fucking, a drop in the fucking bucket, dude. A mid-sized touring band coming to fucking town. They were acting like it was the end of the world. Let that percentage of the whatever.
Right.
You know what? Whatever. Just like when you go to New York now and you listen to New York, and all these people who were like, oh, we're with the immigrants, let them in. Now they're like, well, they're in your backyard. And they're like, get them the fuck out of our neighborhood. Yep, NIMBY, huh? Not in my backyard. I guess all skin folk ain't kin folk, huh? People of color. Hard, it's a damn shame you gotta learn that lesson this way. Should have learned it when Obama got put in office and your people of color day of vengeance didn't come. You didn't get your white slave. It's not going to happen, folks. You're being sold a dream to keep you at the throats of people who you have no beef with. You're being played. There, go out on that.
There you go. Happy cheery note. Hey, you missed us. Hey, I heard you missed us. We're back. Go to at GenExhaustedPod on social media to find the show. Go to ChristopherBeatty.net if you want to help us out. There's a PayPal button there. You can toss us some commerce if you'd like. Wherever you listen to the show, whether it's Spotify, whether it's YouTube Music, whether it's Apple, whether you just go to ChristopherMedia.net and download it. If you have the availability to rate and review the show, we would appreciate it because it helps other people to find the show. Please and thank you. I appreciate you listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.